Hello and welcome to the World Orienteering Championships 2026. We are in for a treat over the next few days as we will see 3 fantastic races through the streets and the city of Genova here in Italy. There's a whole lot of work has gone into these races over the last few years, and the athletes, they have really been targeting their whole, for some of them, the last 2 years towards these races with lots of training camps and preparations as well. And it's really going to be a thrilling and exciting sprint today. They've already done the qualification that happened this morning, where only the top 15 in each of the 3 heats has made it through to the final, and you can see pictures there of some of where we're going to be slightly later on in the competition. But here we're going to be towards the west of the city centre as the sea springs into the mountains and the hills straight away. It really is quite hilly here for this sprint race. So yeah, they've done their qualification this morning. That happened between about 9 and 11:30 this morning, and then they've had to cool down very quickly, get some fuel on, and for those top 15 in each heat who've made it through to today's final, get prepared very quickly for what is going to be a very difficult and technically challenging race. It is warm conditions today, 28 degrees. It feels much warmer when you're in the sunshine, and warmer still when you're out of the wind. And yeah, it really is tricky conditions for sprint orienteering today. But you know, all of the athletes will have known about this. They'll be kind of prepared in this way for the challenges that are going to face them in terms of the heat. The spectators and us in the commentary box maybe less so.
I can tell you, I feel like a dog left in a car outside the shopping mall. That's how I feel in our commentary box.
So it really is very warm, and it's got enough humidity in there that you just kind of don't cool down. That sweat can't evaporate and kind of cool you down. But we will be in amongst kind of these hills that you can see here, and heading towards the kind of flatter section of the city as you see the airport and the coastline in the distance. But yeah, we managed to pre-run the courses, but the athletes are going to be way more prepared than we are, Jonas.
Yeah, they traveled here a couple of days ago as well. They might be better trained than we are, or at least I am. And of course, they knew about the heat, so you can train in heat and you can get used to this one. But it is very hot. It is very hot in the sun.
Yeah, absolutely. So the men's course, 4.1 kilometers, 95 meters of climb. They actually didn't know the climb beforehand. They weren't able to kind of plan their own courses.
The distance either.
They didn't know the distance, and so this all will be news to them. 23 controls, but the key thing, the estimated winning time, they did know of 14 minutes. So here we go. This is the course, and Jonas, do you want to talk us through it?
It's special in many ways because it's kind of a downhill orienteering, and it is very tricky. We started the first control. There are already 2 or 3 route choices. This one, you have to see that you only can go to the left, but we come back to this later. Then a couple of short controls on the top of the hill. On every control, you have like 3 or 4 different possibilities to go. You have to be very careful when you choose your route choices. At 5, we have the first TV control. It's some kind of school building they opened up there. It's quite narrow, and you have a couple of passages. Then route choice 7, and at 8, it's the first time you get a bit of time to read the map. It's more about the execution than really the reading ahead. Use that time to prepare the coming controls because it gets quite tricky. 13, 14, 15, 16 look rather easy because it's a park, but still there are route choices to do there as well. Second TV control, again a bit of time to 18, 19, and 20, and then there's the longest route towards 21. They said it's around 15 different possible route choices you can execute here. It's going to be interesting what's the quickest, because the course planners couldn't really say. One option is through the park, and there are many different options then. And at control 23, we're already at the last control. So it's only 3 controls in this flat bit in the end, mostly up. It's in this hill and mostly downhill.
Yeah, which provides lots of tricky orienteering in itself when you're running really fast. But let's take a closer look then at this first control, because they get thrown into a route choice.
And the thing here is that you have to see that you only can go to the left in the very beginning. Then from here, There are different options how you can execute this one. I think it doesn't really matter if you take the red or the blue one. The important is that you go to the left, right from the starting point. Yeah, and then execute it well. It's difference in distance quite often when you have these controls, but at the same time, it's quite important to not get the stairs. Or, well, you can take the stairs, but especially in the downhills, they slow you down really much. So you have to take this into the calculation when you...
And also how good you personally are at stairs as well. If you know you can throw yourself down some stairs, it might be a good route choice for you. But if you can't, then you've got to go round.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, the main message here is the shortest one is not always the quickest one. If you're a good stairs downhill runner, then you might get different route choices than others. And you have one of the routes almost on every leg is on stairs as well, because you have so much downhills in this one. This is control 3 to 4. In the beginning, you have no choice. It looks a bit like a multi-level problem. It's not. It's very simple out from the control. It's the second part that's the route choice. So either you can go to the left. There's a middle one where you stay to the right of the purple line. It's a bus stop, so they didn't want that you cross the kind of the driving way of the bus. That's why this purple line is. But at the same time, it offers also a kind of a route choice problem.
Yeah.
4 or 5, this is just before the TV control in this school building. This one is very tricky to read. A lot of information to process in very short time here. I would say that the red one is probably the quickest, because it's once you have taken the turn there, the 180 or 360 turn, it's like, yeah, it's quite straightforward.
And then this one where there's like 15 different choices.
Yeah, I mean, I think actually it's quite good to go the red one through the park, but then you have to kind of not process all of the information, just take direction and think, I have to leave at that corner of the park and go as quick as possible. If you start to read details in the park there, I think you're gonna lose time, and then another route choice might be quicker.
But there's so many more options than those shown there.
Yeah, those are the main kind of streets you can go, and then on this there are micro route choices.
Yeah, and you can like switch from one to the other as well. So here's the start list then, and obviously this is determined by the results from this morning's qualification. So those at the start of our start list, Lucas Liland, for example, from Norway, only just making it through to the final. And then as you can see, they go off at 90-second intervals. Great to see a whole mixture of nations making it into the final, of course. Teams can enter 3 runners per nation. Anyone you want to pick out, though, as some early favourites?
Well, early favourites, I would say Erik Langedal Breivik, number 25, might be a strong runner in the beginning. I would say, actually, we've seen the best runners performing good in the qualification as well. So I would say the biggest favourites come towards the end. Then I would highlight, of course, Yannick Michels in a sprint where you have to process that much information. It's definitely an advantage if you are a specialist. Thomas Krifta has been good in the World Cup this year. Thomas Heikkilä is really good shape. Jesper Rosvaje, Tino Polsini. A bit of a surprise, Isak von Krusenstjerna did really well in the qualification, former sprint world champion, and for me the biggest favorite when it's a sprint like this, Kasper Fosse.
Yeah, Janis Bonek coming through here, world forest medalist. Let's see what he can do here in terms of the sprint. Now, what type of athlete is, as you can see, he goes really carefully out of the start here, you know, making sure he's going to take his route choice. That's what we want to see. They have to go left there. Absolutely good start there from Janis Bonek. What type of athlete is this going to suit?
I mean, it's a lot. It's really, the sprint skills are really needed. So it doesn't help you if you're just a good physical runner and you're a decent sprinter. I think we're going to see the best technical sprinter to take.
And what do you mean by that?
You have to be able to process a lot of information in a short amount of time, and quick decisions. You have to be able to handle and kind of compare 2, 3, 4 different route choices towards each one, and if you see that it doesn't really matter, just go one and get to the next one, start preparing, maybe plan 1 or 2 legs ahead. It's also a lot of downhill, it's a lot of stairs. If you run in stairs, it's almost impossible to read ahead. It takes time, you have to be tactical about it. Are you going to choose the stairs, which makes it impossible to read ahead, or are you going to invest 10 meters but plan ahead a little bit? It's a lot of tactics and it's very intense. But in the end, I think the runner, it's impossible to get all the shortest route choices. Don't give it away on one where you do something stupid.
I mean, you just looked at how closely Mathieu Perrin is looking at his map and like checking the routes out there. As you can see, Leland's route here, and specifically the big long leg to course 21. What is going to be hard for our job as a commentator is figuring out where this course is going to be won, where this race is going to be won and lost. So Leland, our first starter coming through here though, and it is going to be hard to find out where it's won and lost.
The thing is that we have so many route choices, it's rather short controls. I mean, if you look back in Switzerland and in Sweden, the first two World Cup rounds, we had one or two legs, very decisive. It was very easy to say if you were wrong in this one, you kind of didn't have a chance to win it. Today, you're just adding up seconds at every control. It differs maybe 4 or 5 seconds between the different route choices, and of course, it's hard to say if you. Yeah, in the end, you're calculating, yeah, okay, you had 13 right and 6 wrong, and then, well.
But there's also, I mean, there's execution mistakes we're going to see here. Sometimes it's hard to see the entrances to the little alleyways. Sometimes you can kind of very easily misread something. If you're trying to simplify it, you can really, really easily misread it. Anyway, let's take Lucas Leland in towards the finish, our first finisher today. Just sneaking in qualification. I'd probably expect him to come up a little higher than that. So crossing the line there, 18:09. Ooh, it's good to see where the mark is set now when we have an expected winning time of 14 minutes. So the Norwegian there, first one across the line in the very hot conditions, and very interesting to see. Akseli Rohala, one of the early starters to watch, definitely from Finland. You can see, just looking across towards the mountains there in the background, a sense of the challenge we have. And then we can synchronize our GPS then. So live with Peter Pavianovic from Poland. As you can see, him and Joseph Lynch from New Zealand, both ahead of Leland there. Very different route choices to 4 and again to 5.
And if you look at this now, where Lynch and Pavianovic, they go out, they go into a section with many stairs. It's only. I mean, it's a short one, 5, 6. You have like 3 times as much distance as it looks on just the first sight. But it's really hard to look and plan ahead when you're executing this control. And I think that's kind of the thing throughout the whole course. You have to find the spots where you can invest time to read the map and to plan your route choices.
Yeah, and I think we will have, we'll have a camera there at Control 5, and we'll be able to get a sense of how well the athletes are moving through these shorter controls. It's a balance of doing the short controls well and then doing the long route choices well. And Bjornsson is just going to stop there and make sure he gets it right, and he does. Heading out towards the left is exactly the way he needs to be going. Here's Janis Bonek then. He's on his way to split control number 2. Diving down the steps then here at control number 16. And then we can follow him through, I think, over the next few controls.
Yeah, there's a possibility.
And now he can open up a little bit.
To cut there to the left, you could have cut up the corner.
But he'll come a little bit round the corner here and try and invest some time in planning. So it'll be a few more controls before we actually get the time split then from Janis Bonek, from the Austrian.
But you can see that he lost a lot of time here in the beginning.
Yeah, he has, as he kind of comes across the flat section towards the right. And let's follow Mathieu Perrin. So our first look at split control number 1, which is number 5. He's kind of running along to the right-hand side of the school, so he's gone kind of north to number 5. It is the shortest one, and you can see he's really trying to look here to find the gap. Here he comes. This is going through the school. There were lots of kids eating their lunch there when we were pre-running, and he'll come through to the control here. He's got to be very careful. You can see just how much he's slowing down here to make sure he gets it right. And, when you're sprint orienteering, there's such a temptation to be moving all the time. It's going to be really interesting to see how the techniques differ as the athletes kind of come through here, and we'll see how the really, really best athletes take these challenges.
I mean, it's technique, but I don't think we're going to see a lot of stop and go. It's still doable to be moving all the time. The question is, how quick can you move?
Whilst processing that incredibly tricky, it's just so much detail in there.
And we have to say, there are no traps in it. So it's difficult, but it's often that if you do a mistake, you end up on the wrong route, but you're not going to get trapped at any point.
No, here's Joseph Lynch, our new leader then at the finish, goes 37 seconds faster than Lucas Leland. A thumbs up then from Joe. He was 7th at the World Champs 2 years ago in Edinburgh, and starting a lot earlier this time, but a great start there.
Gustav Runefors actually followed his GPS route a little bit. It looked quite good, actually. He's been able to get most of the right route choices. Even this one is okay. Here you could even go back, but you can follow. It's the same as we had, was it before Bonnick? Yeah.
Yeah, this is Josh O'Sullivan-Hurahan here from Ireland. And so he's going to be caught up then 3 minutes actually by Runefors, who should be coming through here next. So we've got quite a long sequence of them in the park that we're following.
Small path I was talking about before, so I think he was. Yeah, it's 1 or 2 seconds quicker. This is
Akseli Ruohola.
Yeah, yes. The thing is, he thought just out of the tunnel and then to the left, and then you have to continue a couple of meters. And it's like when you plan ahead, it's things like this that get lost. You just
and
have
there is
left.
a tiny little gap. You can almost see there's some tape in the hedge there. There is a tiny little gap where you can kind of go. So I think he won't be the only one.
But it's a very clear result of like planning ahead, because the only information he has in his head is out of the building and to the left, and when it's not as he expected, then he has to stop
and this is part of it, isn't it? It's when you can only hold so much information in your head. You've either got to only plan a little bit ahead and keep that detailed, or you can maybe plan more ahead, but it's got to be much more simple. Anyway, we're live with Parfjanovic, and that kind of shows, as you mentioned, just how good Runefors' start was. Gonzalo Ferrando now from Spain. Spain's got some good previous results then in sprints. They tend to do much better in the sprint than in the forest. This is Andreas Bock-Bjornsen from Denmark. So this is him on the way to control number 5. He's again taken a similar route, I think, to what we've seen the others take, and it involves going to the right-hand side of this school, and then you have to go through the canopy here. But you can just see that he's not going at full pelt by any stretch of the imagination down here, because he's having to read all this detail. Yeah, you do need to go up there. It's really, I mean, the map, it's I'm trying to explain why this is so difficult, and it's because there are so many decision points along the way. It's like, go here, turn left, then another left, through there, across the yard, through another gap in the building, straight on, and then left past the hedge. And then there's so many steps that you have to remember. You can kind of see it on the map. It's not reading the detail that really is the issue. It's just the volume of information. Here's Janis Bonnick then from Austria. And as you can see there, nearly 2 minutes down on the time of Joseph Lynch of New Zealand. Crossing the finish line there to be 2 minutes down. And into 5th place. Currently out of 5 finishers so far. So a tricky afternoon. Let's have a look then at Runefors and Perrin.
And it's interesting because Perrin is quite okay as well. Same route here to 7. And again, this is an example there. The stairs, they're very steep. They're not quick, but it's not an option to go all around. But And it's also very clear or very obvious that often when you found a way to 7, for example, you take the stairs again to 8 because you have been there. Then it gives you some time again to work with, to prepare the coming. I mean, you might see 2 different route choice, but this one is an option and you have been there, then take it.
But Perrin looked like he got ahead actually just on the route choice to 10 there. They were very, very similar the rest of the time, and then just managed to get ahead here at 10. And then we have this route choice here to 13. Which is the quicker one here? Which is the shorter one?
I think the shortest one is the Perrin option, but I'm not. I can tell you this one. You can look it up here.
I mean, we can see by the time he gets to 13, because Perrin has done the climb now, and now he is dropping down through.
Yeah, so the Perrin option was the shortest one at least.
So here is Runeforce, and we know already from the GPS that he has had a good start today, and he's only got a few more controls to go as he races through the streets. This very grid-like section of streets right at the end here is very, very different compared to the other parts of the course, and obviously that's why we've got all these barriers and everything in place here. So he'll go kind of round this small kind of maze section here and then pick up the control. You can just see on the corner, he's just passed it there, and only the last control and the finish now to go for Gustav Runeforce, really getting ahead of Joseph Finch.
It was a bit surprising because on the long leg to 21, when he finally had a lot of time, he did actually twice he did a small mistake when he was running into a direction, then changed his mind after like 10 meters again.
And he goes in the lead, but only just 3 seconds ahead, and so mistakes at the end because he was much further ahead of Joseph
23
Finch,
seconds ahead at TV2.
So making execution mistakes when the course gets supposedly easier, and that just shows the trickiness of running here.
Mathieu Perrin.
So this is
he's
control
going up
16.
again.
Yep.
To this control very soon to the TV control. I think he has a good chance to take over the lead there at the second TV control.
But as you can see, just kind of is going to use this time to invest in some planning ahead of the next few controls. It's always a balance when you're sprint orienteering, how much you need to be in the moment, how much you need to be planning ahead, and making that switch at exactly the right point so that you're not making mistakes in the moment when you're thinking about what's coming. But yeah, there we go. A 10-second lead there for Mathieu Perrin from France, and the fastest so far around this course. At control number 17. Front Jonas now from Hungary. Quite a few Hungarians making it into this final across the men's and the women's competition. Impressive work. Always so good a nation when it comes to the junior classes, not always making the transition well to the seniors, but here we are. We'll see if Jonas can do it well. And this is a confirmation then of, so Perrin ahead of Runeforce going through the park here. Took a good route to 13, and then similar routes there again to 15, 16, and then Perrin taking the top route here. Here comes Nathan Lawson then from Great Britain. He's actually quit his job, bought a van, and been traveling around Europe for the last few months before eventually making his way with his partner to go and live in Australia. So he's really been putting a lot of time into this because he will be moving away from Europe very soon.
Here we have Perrin and Runeforce. In the comparison, seem to be on the same route, at least the exit. It is a good option to go down there if you see at the quickest options chosen so far. But as we said earlier, there's so many possibilities how to execute 20 to 21.
And how do they decide? How do they look? How do they see there's so many options?
Well, what I would do is like how... I mean, you look to the right, you look in the middle and to the left and see, like, try to find different options. And I would try to avoid stairs because you have options without stairs to choose in the downhill. But yeah, I mean, you can't be 100% sure. And then, of course, they have been preparing stuff like this. They're quicker in it. They know a couple of passages. There are artificial fences as well. You have to take them into account. But it's something you train in the sprint training. That's why you do it. It's mostly to compare the different route choices. I mean, the execution most often is not the problem.
No, I think it will be on this course where it's very, very tricky. But here comes Erik Langedahl Breivik, the European bronze medalist from Belgium last year, and lots of hopes for him as he takes the right route out of the start. And then here, obviously, we can really get a first instance of checking the route choices here. And you mentioned it, Jonas, already. There was a mistake there for Runefors, which you can kind of just see towards the bottom of your screen.
And then something similar happens again quite soon. I think he misses the path down again. I mean, it's not a huge one, but you can see that he kind of wasn't 100% prepared.
Yeah, so Runefors, our current leader at the finish, and it looks good for Perrin to take a new lead. Here comes Tim Robertson. He's got a couple of more controls to go, but Tim here coming in towards the finish with, you know, 6th at the last World and European Championships. Can really, even when he's had kind of big injuries throughout the season, he manages to get into some decent shape by the time a championship comes round. But he's not going to be the fastest New Zealander today as he comes into the finish here looking for 3rd place. A very, very hot and tricky run up there, but here comes Perrin then. What has the Frenchman been able to do with good routes for him today and good execution as well? Let's see whether he's going to be able to take the new leading time. It looks very good for the Frenchman to go faster than Runefors. He was already ahead, and then we know Runefors made mistakes on that last long leg as well. So Perrin coming into the finish very, very soon as we see Ferenc Jonas through TV1, but here comes the Frenchman. Perrin here is going to go into a decent lead here, very good, 28 seconds lead, 17:01, but that's still 3 minutes off the expected winning time.
Exactly what I was about to say. I mean, if you look at the execution here, he can't say a lot there. Of course, he didn't have the best one at every control, but it was good throughout the whole course. But he's still, I mean, at 2 minutes away from the 50 minutes mark. And we talked, like the course planner said yesterday in the meeting, he's very confident that he will be within 12 to 15 minutes.
It's really interesting because, you know, these athletes, and you've seen in the picture, they have to go so slow to get this right. So, and when we get to those right at the end, how quick will they actually be able to run is the big question, I think, and still get it right. Or will they take a more risky option and go really fast and risk making mistakes or route choice errors or things like that? Anyway, Henry McNulty here from Australia, heading out of the start here. And very, very smooth out the start there. And so we have the comparison there here. Perrin, our current leader at the finish, but we're live with Akseli Ruohola, who was already about 30 seconds down, I think it was, at control number 17, which is where we've got the last split. And now on the flat then here, making his way towards the arena. So coming through here, and we can catch Akseli Ruohola here, not going to make it into the lead. And let's have a hear from our current leader, I think.
Yeah, here with the new leader, Mathieu Perrin. Tell us about your race.
Yeah, it was really fun, super fun. Maybe didn't do any big mistakes. Probably some few seconds there and here, but yeah, overall I think it was really technical, really tricky race. not like really big problems, let's say, but in terms of navigation, it was really tricky, almost a forest race. So yeah, really fun, really fun.
And you seem really happy when you entered the finish here in the mixed zone. How far do you think that will take you today?
I honestly don't know. I know my shape is not like great, especially for that long course. So yeah, probably not like amazing results, but most of all, I've struggled this year to like really do this good race in international competition. I've done a lot of mistakes. It's been a really hard way to walk. I barely made it to the team. So no, I'm really relieved to have proven that I can again be on top at the World Champs. So again, I mean, at my own level, but yeah, I'm really happy.
It's nice to see you smiling, Mathieu. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Not sure whether you could hear all of that. We couldn't hear in the commentary position, but that is Mathieu Perrin, our new leader. As you saw Eric Langendahl-Breivik going through that split in, what was it, 4th position, but very close towards our leader. So there you go, Fernando just through there, or waiting for him then at the 17th control.
I mean, it's very typical what you say now, very close to the leader, he's 19 seconds behind, but it's the kind of course where you think that, okay, it's not over yet with 19 seconds behind.
I really don't
but I mean,
think
it's
it
19
is.
seconds. In another sprint, he would be out of the decision for sure. I don't think he will have, with 19 seconds, we won't have a chance for a top 6 anymore, but he still can be in a good position.
But it's an indication that maybe things are, you know, he's not been able to keep that high pace again. Adrien Delaine next to start from one Frenchman to another. And this team as a whole, the nation as a whole, has done such a good job, especially last year in the European Championships. Of course, we had Cécile Calandry with her win in the knockout as well. Really impressive.
Here, Rucho is 6-7. Actually, I mean, it looks so, like a huge difference, and I think that the course planner said there's basically only one way to go to the right there. But now, if you look at the comparison here, it was rather equal.
Yeah, I mean, if you go like kind of left as the runner's thinking about it, it's further, but you can really run, you know. Although you actually have to be careful. What you can't kind of see, even in some of these pictures, is there's parked cars that are really annoying, and you have to kind of fit between gaps as well. And sometimes when you're trying to take a corner, you think you can kind of go full speed around a corner, and then there is a car in the way, and it is really annoying. Anyway, Bjørnsen from Denmark through here towards the finish, really stepping on the gas, coming here into the run-in in front of all the crowd here in this nice and shady arena. But they're into, well, you know, well outside, what was it, the top 10. And Michał Lesznik then from Poland, heading out of the start here. And some of these athletes are kind of at this situation are maybe athletes that wouldn't expect to qualify at a World Cup where you've got teams of 8 runners. So they wouldn't necessarily expect to make the top 15, but they are going to here at World Championships because we have smaller teams.
Yeah, and especially if you followed the qualification, which was because of the fact that you have a short break between the qualification and the final. Favorites, they start first, and when you follow it and then you see one of the favorites is like 47 seconds, or one runner is 47 seconds behind in position 10, after like 10 runners, you think, okay, they're gonna be out, but then there's no one else coming. So it's like, it's very strange, this qualification.
Yeah.
It's a totally different kind of thing compared to the World Cup races, where a couple of seconds can decide whether if you're in the final or not.
Yeah, it's like, you know, that would be the situation for someone like Matthias Blaise here from Belgium, you know, not having to race against eight Finns and 8 Swedes and 8 Swiss and 8 Norwegians, much smaller teams of 3, unless you've got a reserved place if you're a world champion or a European champion or another regional champion.
I don't know, Catherine, if you mentioned it yet, but we had Eddie Norbert to the first TV control in 4th, 15 seconds behind.
Really
good
great start from the Brits. And I think he was a late replacement for Ralph Street, who I've heard isn't very well. So that's very impressive here. Jürgen Younes then here from Estonia. And we can get that time comparison. So Runa Force was already there, but looking to be reasonably good coming down this slope here. You can see he's like a bit more prepared than some of the others who we've seen here. So this is a really good start then for the Estonian. There we were. You can really see him putting on the brakes there. And that's like, it is actually fairly oh, I wish we could have stayed on that picture a little bit longer, but it's fairly characteristic of actually some parts of the course just being able to see the gaps from the angle that you're coming in and everything like that. So you can hear the cicadas in the air then here at the top of the course as we have Angeli here from Italy starting the course today. Of course, loads and loads of home support out there on the streets today. The arena speakers here doing a good job of trying to catch the attention of any passing locals.
Here we could actually cut over kind of the forest bits. Makes quite a difference. Look at it, how much Jonas lost just on the control 13 to 14 and out of it. It's about 10-15 seconds maybe. So execution is really key here.
Yeah, you've just got to look up and find that shortest line by any means.
I don't think actually that Beha was perfect there, because you could really cut over the forest bits and you don't have to run it out. You can go almost at the red line.
So Fernando then just coming into position number 7 as we go to Adrien Delaine and see how he does this control number 5.
One thing we haven't mentioned, I mean, we have been talking about the qualification. There was no big surprise. We had one runner who missed, who we thought would make it to the final, and that's Martin Hoopman, but he got injured, so he had a hamstring problem, quite badly injured hamstring, so he couldn't finish the race. But that was actually the only one of the top runners that didn't make it to the final.
Yeah, who didn't make it in, and I mean, he said you heard he was in really good shape.
Yeah,
so
his coach said he's in the shape of his life just before 5 minutes before he stopped, possibly.
Okay, this is Erik Langedal Breivik, and looking really good going down those stairs. We'll pick him up on the next section there. Of course, was Mathieu Perrin fastest at this point? Yeah, he was. So we'll see if Erik Langedal Breivik will go quicker.
He was 19 seconds behind at the first TV control. It's definitely less now. You can see that here. He's going to be in the lead, in a big lead.
Hang on there. We have one of the other runners.
But this is him. So the control, okay, the time
Lawson,
is taken at the next one. Yeah, but it's not...
It hasn't stopped, but it was that control that we should have had the time taken at, as he's kind of catching up Nathan Lawson here.
We haven't got it in the system either.
Okay, let's have a look at Breivik here. Look at where was he able to get that gap then? Ooh.
14, that's fine. Oh, he didn't go to 15.
He didn't go to 15?
No, he didn't go to 15.
Oh, there we go. That's a disqualification then. Skipping over a control.
Yeah, I mean, he was 20 seconds behind and then suddenly he was almost ahead. Or, yeah, he is ahead now.
Good spot then from the people we have looking at the GPS, exactly, the GPS team taking a look there. Next up is Benjamin Way then from Switzerland, a fairly new name, a very new name to the Swiss team. He was 8th at the World Cup though on home soil in Locarno earlier this year. In again, very warm conditions, and I mean, for some of these nations, and especially the Swiss team, making it on the plane here to Italy was a challenge in and of itself, because they have so many good runners, and you could really see that at the Swedish World Cup as well, particularly in the men's competition.
When I talked to the coach, he said Benjamin Way, he is good in this kind of sprints. Of course, I mean, the coach has to say that, but...
going to say, how much
But I
can you
mean, an
believe what the coaches are saying?
An 8th place in the World Cup really gives you the chance to be top 6 in World Championships.
Yeah, and that was a tricky World Cup, that one in Switzerland as well. So we'll see how he's able to do. We will focus on Ferenc Jonas here from Hungary. And he's only just going to be slower than Pam here. Going to go into second place there, 4 seconds down. Oh, and we were just talking about Benjamin Way there at the start, and what has happened?
Yeah, I mean, he went to the right there just after the starting point, which is you have no
can't get
way to
through.
get through there.
No, so he's had to reverse and
I think
come
he
back
has a
up the same
time
way.
loss of 20 seconds at the start point already.
Tricky stuff there. Here's Aston Key from Australia, former junior world champions. Not actually raced in Europe for quite a few years, actually, but kind of before that few years break, he really was doing had some great speed then.
Yeah, and I mean, 2 years ago, we always count him into the favorites almost. He was really good at that time, and I think, I mean, he had a good start here at the pre-warning. Yes, in contention with Perrin.
So you can see this is the alternative route into this control.
He's still up there.
And yeah, I mean, there we go, 2 seconds ahead. So a new leader then here, and he looked so well prepared. The flow through that control was very impressive. Let's have a look at then the routes. Obviously, he goes this different route to 4, which is why, sorry, 5 is where we see him to go.
This one is actually shorter for Key to control 4.
Yeah.
Then I think that Perrin has the shorter option here to 5, but I mean, the execution might be a bit easier.
Oh, it's so close, isn't it?
And that's, I mean, that's what we were talking about. You don't lose like 20 seconds on one route here, but you lose 4 seconds on one control and 4 seconds on the next one.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard for us to tell you identify where it was won and lost. But here we have Jakob Glonek, 4th at the European Championships in Belgium last year. And then next to go is Zoltán Budosó from Hungary, 5th place at the Swiss World Cup. You can see he's looking ahead at the start clock there that's counting down his time. It's actually quite unusual. You've got the little start gate there as well, and there's no person kind of letting you go. So here comes Nathan Lawson then, the Brit on his way into the finish. He's looking for a top 10 finish at the moment. Here he comes around the corner, only a few meters. Is he going to go quicker than Pete Malloy? And he will just, so into 8th, 9th position there. That's not Langedal Breivik. That is Jürgen Younes from Estonia. Just see him kind of looking around here for the next controls, and gives you a sense of how kind of quickly all of these path junctions, these different features come up when they're running at this kind of speed. But as you can see, they're 23 seconds down. That's Erik Langedal Breivik, who has gone into 3rd place.
Yeah, but he's going to have a miss punch.
He will have the miss punch. He's missed out control number.
I think he already knows it.
Yeah, 15. Well, was it announced in the arena as he came in?
No. Doesn't look satisfied, at least.
No, you can kind of tell. He missed out number 15. Looking back at his map, getting the commiserations there from the coach. So replay, this is what happened. He basically just jumped over 15 on the way to 16. And obviously, if you're going to take that route out via the yellow anyway to go to 15, which is a valid route, then
I think that he started to read to the right control, and then jump to the next one.
Part way when he was like on the way to the next control. Here's Jonathan Gustafsson next to start. As much success as a knockout sprinter. Let's see how he can do on the individual sprint. This time trial sprint is Adrien Delaine, I think. This is here coming through to this point. There he goes, 14 seconds down behind Mathieu Perrin, still the fastest at that point. So a really good time from Perrin here that's lasting quite some time. I'm not sure if we've got a leader's chair in the arena today, but he's got a long time sitting on the leader's chair. Here's Jakub Glonek from Czechia. 4th place at the European Championships, going around this kind of skate park system here, on his way kind of into the park. Into the school, indeed, as we will catch him.
It's the same route as we had at Aston Key a couple of minutes ago. It was quite okay. I don't think he will be far behind Aston Key.
Here is Henry McNulty on his way into the finish. Some good world champ success previously, and this is a competitive time here from Henry McNulty.
It's a very good time.
As he's going to come around into the finish. Will it be good enough for a new leading time though here? I think it will be good indeed, as Henry McNulty is going to come into the new lead. And did that pretty much came out of nowhere from Henry McNulty.
I mean,
in terms of the broadcast.
He was 38 seconds behind at the pre-TV. And then 30 seconds behind at TV1, so he was half a minute behind. I think we lost him out of the broadcast a little bit.
Yeah, and he just has done a fantastic job right at the end here.
And giving you as well, you had Jakub Glonek on the screen just before we switched to Henrik McNulty, and he has a new best time at TV1, 1 second ahead of Aston Key, and this is Zoltan Bujdosho, and I think he has a good time going on as well.
Yeah, he's still on his way to the first TV split, but
this is going to be a new best time.
Good pace coming through here. As the time ticks up, he will climb up these steps towards the control itself. Here he comes.
This is a clear new best time.
Yeah, this is very impressive start here from Bujdosho.
19 seconds ahead. That's good. That's really good.
Oh, he nearly falls over, but stays there. Just takes a couple of seconds to check the route, but not too long at all. Next up to start, this is Yannick Michels, a multi-silver and bronze medal winning athlete.
And as I mentioned before, I mean, this is so interesting now to follow. If he's a clear sprint specialist, and in a race where those quick decisions are so important, I think it's really making a difference if you're focusing on sprint, like all the time, or if you do forest orienteering in between as well.
We might come back to that GPS in just a moment and see where Henry McNulty has been able to make that difference, as Jürgen Younes is the next one to come through. But as you can see, he is already slower than McNulty. We have Aston Key on his way as well, the Australian as well. So Jürgen Younes then in 23 seconds down into 4th place. And Thomas Krivda about to start, one of our big favourites, 2nd at the Swiss World Cup, 4th at the Swedish World Cup. And let's hear from the new leader, Henry McNulty.
And I'm here with the new leader, Henry McNulty of Australia. Henry, our commentators talk about that you went under the radar for the first half of the race, and then you did a great second half. What was your own experience of the race?
Yeah, that sounds about right. I was running pretty poorly up until maybe 7, and then got some longer legs. I could kind of collect my thoughts a bit. Yeah, lost a lot of time for the first control. Bit more running in the park than I thought there would be at the end. We'll see if I got the right routes, but yeah, it felt tough. Never felt that great.
Yeah, it seemed like very tricky course. You have to do a lot of small choices all the time, checking that you're on the right route. Was that your experience as well?
Yeah, even the kind of longer legs, I never really felt like I was on top of it. I was always kind of playing catch up, so it was, yeah, not really until a long leg to 21 that I thought, okay, now I need to actually push a bit physically as well. Yeah.
So what do you hope for result-wise?
After that performance, I'd be happy with maybe top 15. I don't think it was quite good enough to be a great result.
We'll see how it goes. Thank you, Henry.
Thank you.
Yeah, great work there from Henry McNulty. And I think that's going to be a situation where a lot of athletes will find themselves in. They'll find that that first part of the race is very stressful, and then if only finally that last long leg, do you feel like you can actually get up any speed whatsoever?
But I mean, he did the mistake to the first control, and I think that's really something you have in your mind. It's not only a bad route. I think he did the mistake to the first control, and then of course it gives you a bad feeling. But I think the top 15 could be realistic, actually.
Yeah, it's a time that many athletes are struggling to match all the way around the course. Here's Yannick Michels, and then we'll get the answer as to how well that has gone this first part of the race. So he's not as fast as Budosho, but he doesn't know where the control is. It's literally, just turn around, you can see it. It's literally behind you, Yannick. Oh my gosh.
He doesn't see it.
Oh, I have never seen this before in all orienteering.
Oh, this is, I mean, this is
goodness me.
A mistake within the circle in a sprint orienteering.
Yeah. I mean he just kind of got his eyes open. Could you see
but I mean, he's
go?
already at the next control. So his focus is already at the next control. He runs in there. He thinks, okay, I'm going to see it. And then it's kind of difficult because you switch to the next control. You have to find the control again on the map to get the contact and look up everything, relocate, kind of trying to find where you could be when you don't see the control again. It's a very stressful situation. I also want to mention that we had Aston Key at the TV control with a new best time. He had it on the screen, but not, I mean, we weren't in the interview.
Yeah, when we were in the interview. Yeah, I'm sure we're going to mention Aston a few more times around this broadcast, but let's have a little chat about Francesco Mariani, 5th place at the World Championships, 7th in Switzerland as well, and, you know, a real home favourite here, actually.
He is, and if I'm not 100% sure, but I think he had a great result or a great race going on in Genoa a couple of years ago in the World Cup as well. It's kind of the first time he really showed up on the screen there. I'm not sure. There was one Italian, I think, who mispunched just before the finish, but would have been really good. I'm not sure if it was him. I should have done that research before.
You know, I'm going to have to do this research as we take Martin Rudny into the next control, and you can see he just pretty much stopped there at the control. Just to check, he really wasn't reading ahead at that point, which actually might not be a bad thing, but he is nearly 2 minutes down already.
And very soon we should have Zoltan Budosho at the second TV control as well.
Correct, he was disqualified in the Genoa sprints in 2024.
He had a really good race going on, and then it was like the second last control, third last control that he mispunched.
So here's Thomas Krivda, and we'll see which way he is going to take control 5. But this is a long way down. What has happened to Krivda? I'm going to just task Jonas with here, trying to see where there was a mistake, because he's still only passing the skate park, and he's got quite a few more meters to go to get to the actual control, and this is a minute and a half down already, and this is Krivda's race over before it's begun, before he gets to TV1, because there's no way of pulling back over a minute and a half.
He did a mistake to the first control.
So which way did he
ran into a dead end. He went to the left and then to the right into a dead end.
And when you've got, you know, all that nervousness.
Oh, actually, Benjamin Way, he did. I just made a replay on the first control. He first went to the right and then into this dead end as well. So he must have done almost a minute mistake to the first control.
This is Aston Key. Will it be good enough for a new leading time? It's not. He's not going to be as fast as his teammate Henry McNulty. He must have flown around this last section. But Aston Key goes into equal second there, equal with Mathieu Perrin. The Aston who took 5th place back in 2022 in Denmark. Crossing the line there, equal second at the moment. This is Krivda's mistake, okay?
Yeah, so this is the dead end, and he's all the way down.
Ages before he realizes.
So he runs down the stairs and then up the stairs again, and he's really at the end of the dead end.
And then that's a mistake as well, another one.
I mean, of course, then he's out of it. But let's take Zoltan Budosho to the second TV split, because this is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Looks good speed, good. He's really giving it all up the hill here. It's very powerful, and look at the time. This is going to be a new best time.
It really will, because this next control is only just...
You can spot it there between the trees.
He was 29th 2 years ago in Edinburgh.
6 seconds ahead of Aston Key, and then we know that Aston Key lost time in the end as well. So a good chance here for Budoso. Take over the lead in the finish.
Yeah, Budoso 5th in the World Cup race in Switzerland. And actually that Swiss World Cup was so technical. It has actually a lot of features that were, you know, really kind of the technique similar
but
to.
You had a period in the course on the long leg where you could kind of get rid of, you could focus go when it came to this technical thing and just focus on execution and running and giving it everything and then switch back again. Here you never get the chance to relax.
No, you don't get a break at all on this race. And we will see more mistakes, I think, as well. And I think the likes of Thomas Krivda, you know that if you know, he will want a medal from today's race, right? He knows he's got to be attacking in that course, and you're kind of playing a risky game, you know? You've got to go so fast, so you do push all out. Here's Mariani from Italy. But now approaching the 5th control and go to the right of the school. That route that we have seen more often, actually, but he is already slower than Budoso.
And I mean, he will be about 20 seconds behind or more. That's too much, because we know that Budoso did a good second part as well.
Yeah, but I mean, when it comes of stacking up next to other athletes, I mean, he's still in decent company.
Yeah, he's in decent, but we still have quite many runners to come, and he's half a minute behind Budoso. I mean, he did a good run so far, but he's not the biggest favorite of the day.
No,
so it's not
you
going to
need
be a
him
top
to
6
be.
for him. I'm quite sure about that.
You need him to be kind of right up there at this point. Here comes Thomas Hakeler, and is it the day for Thomas Hakeler to take a win? He's got medals at the World Cups. He's often 2nd or often 4th, kind of just missing out. And you know, when he broke onto the scene, it was the European champs in Italy a few years ago. What was that, 2023? On a very, very different style course. That one was much kind of easier and faster running. This is very different. How well is Thomas Hakeler going to do?
I mean, it wouldn't be a shot out of nowhere if he would win it. Absolutely not.
Not
He's
now.
one of the, no, of course not.
No.
So it's he's one of the big favorites. But if you would have asked me in the end of last year, I would have said it's probably too intense for him. But I think, I mean, he has developed so much in the last 2 years. He can handle this kind of course, and he's so strong physically. I think, yeah, I would hope it, because I like him as a person. He's very humble, even in situations that others would have struggled with. I mean, we remember the knockout sprint where he was beaten by Kasper Foss. He was very controversial about everything, and he was really cool and like, but he was better. I would not have beaten him anyway. So he's very humble, and I would really like him to win a race sooner or later.
We don't have favourites at all. Jakob Glonek then, he's going to split the Aussies and go into 2nd place. Great work from the Czech athlete. He's just kind of looking at the split. It's just always been there or thereabouts. Where did Yannick go then in the standings? 5th, was that, or 6th?
He's behind, at least. This is comparison, but very soon actually we're gonna have, because now at 21 we have Zoltán Budoso as well.
Ah, there we go. That's where Aston Key lost it, I think, on that route choice.
That wasn't good.
To 22. Yeah, went a little bit further just at the end on quite a clear... I think it's quite clear which one's the shortest there.
Yes, he did. I lost time here as well. He was good in the race at the it was at control 2 or 3. But let's switch focus to Zoltán Budoso. Here is.
Yeah, can he take a new leading time here?
Leading time.
This is really, really good from the Hungarian. Good all the way around the course. Look at those green lights there, and and a lead of 21 seconds for Zoltan Budoso.
But one thing we have to say, I mean, McNulty did the mistake at the first control. He was only 3 seconds ahead at control 3. Budoso, so maybe there's some time you could be a bit quicker in the very beginning. But that was a good race, and he's almost half a minute quicker than McNulty.
I think he's just a bit overwhelmed there with that result. We're really into our last 3 athletes now. This has come by so quick. And Tino Polsini, the defending silver medalist, the winner of the World Cup in Switzerland, on the race now. And we kind of know from that race in Switzerland, he really likes the technical one. I think this could suit him really well.
He's so good in executing. I mean, his coach called him the Mr. Execution before the race then, and I think that was on point because he did so good in this race there. It is technical today as well. He can do good. He has proven before that he can handle the pressure at the World Championships. He is one of the clear, he's definitely a favorite for a medal.
Yeah, Heikkilä then is going to be behind here.
20 seconds behind as well, at least.
I don't know whether there was any mistakes from Heikkilä as he comes through into this control here, whether it's just not being able to kind of keep that speed, whether it was the route choices. There's so many factors in determining the new world champion here. And we will get our defending world champion, Martin Regborn, actually is here. He has a really bad injury situation at the moment, so he's been hobbling around on crutches. He's here supporting, but not here to defend his title.
I can't see any mistakes if I replay the GPS here. No clear mistake, at least. I mean, I can't see the hesitations and everything.
Yeah. Isaac von Krusenfuena, then our second to last starter, won his heat. A former world champion, but that's back from 5 years ago when it was those first post-COVID games in 2021.
The strangest sprint ever, because he was not a second in the broadcast.
Yes.
He finished before the broadcast started.
Yeah, and he was the world champion. Those very strange post-COVID games. This is Cooper Hawley here coming through. 37 seconds down. The Aussie team again, who've had really great junior world championships as well, continuing through here. Let's have a comparison then. Let's look at Heikkilä. Budoso just looking so quick.
It's not, I mean, this is a valuable route there.
A small mistake
there
heading
is some
into
hesitation,
4. Kind of just didn't catch the entrance right. Oh, no, he isn't, because you have to go... No, sorry, it's because you have to go back on yourself.
Yeah, but I think there was a hesitation there. He was at the same place for a long time.
I mean, and it just, as you see, Kasper Fosse, our last starter then heading out. He's a former world champion back from 2022 in Denmark. He's a European silver medalist. He won the World Cup in Switzerland. And, he made a mistake. There's a mistake from Kasper Fosse in the first few seconds of the course. And how fast is he going to realise, as we keep an eye on the GPS
we have
tracking,
a delay on the GPS, so we can't tell you yet.
Gustafsson goes there,
it's just a very
over
small
a minute
one.
behind. There's a small error there. He realises it.
Yeah, 2 or 3 seconds.
And you've got to try and keep calm then after making a small mistake like that.
Yeah, you have to keep calm.
I do,
Catherine.
I know. I was just nearly blowing the microphones there, seeing drama on the first part. This is a replay then. If we see what happened to Kasper Fosse, a nice attacking start there.
Yeah, you can see it here. It's just a couple of seconds. He turns in and then out again. I would say he lost about 5 seconds. Of course, it's not a perfect start, but it's not the worst thing that can happen here. And this is interesting. Tino Polsini at the TV control.
Oh, what a start here for Tino Polsini. 2 seconds ahead of Budoso. And this is a really good start then. He couldn't do much better here.
And it's interesting because he was 2 seconds ahead at the pre-TV control. It's still the 2 seconds here at TV1 as well. Very similar speed compared to Zoltan Budoso.
And yeah, Mariani cutting up through here. So Mariani there into 4th place, 13 seconds down. So we've still got, obviously, Isaac van Kruijswijk and Casper
but I
Harden
can
Foster
tell
to
you,
come to the end.
Isaac
But yes.
van Kruijswijk, he did a couple of mistakes. He had not the best route to 1, and then I think he struggled a bit out of control 3. So he is already more than half a minute behind.
And we missed Yannick coming in, I think, or at least I did. 29 seconds down, so no medal for Yannick Michels of Belgium today. There he is.
Yeah.
Just coming into the finish, past all the other interviews. And let's, as you mentioned, pick up on some of those mistakes then from Van Kruijswijk. Let's have a look at him here. Ooh. Yeah, it just kind of goes up a random block of stairs that he doesn't need to.
Yeah.
And, oh, he goes underneath.
He goes down there. There's only one way over.
Yeah, you have to climb up and over the bridge here.
Yeah, they did a mistake at the first control.
That's a mistake. That's pretty much a mistake at every control. Let's catch him up then on his way to number 5.
I think the second one was okay, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, go on then. But as you can see, nearly half a minute down, and he's just coming past the skate park here. So it's going to be over a minute, I think, here for Van Kruijswijk.
And I followed Tino Polsini's GPS a little bit, and he has kind of the advantage that he's not that far behind Matthias Barros-Valle, and he starts to see him when he goes down the stairs. I mean, it's still about a minute, but he can feel that, okay, I'm doing probably a good race here. I get closer to the French athlete in front of me. So good feedback there.
Oh, jumps through the little sports pitch there, and Krivda 2:18 down, and that was the mistake from Krivda came right at the start of the course here. That number 1, as you can see, already a minute down, and then just losing a bit more time there. And I think he's very kind of wants to get out of the view of the cameras very, very quickly. Gets rid of the GPS. Casper Foster then, 2 split control number 1 coming through the passageway.
Hesitating here as well.
Yeah, and let's have a look. Oh, just not quite sure exactly where in the circle it is, and that's all of these things you have to balance there. 8 seconds down in the end. So Polsini, Budoso, Casper Foster in 3rd place, and he is our last starter today.
And soon we expect Thomas Heikkilä to the second TV control. I would say in about 20 to 25 seconds we should have him in the picture.
So Casper Foster following him through here as our last starter. There's the control.
And you see here, you would like to read the map just after the control, but you have not really a chance because there is there.
Yeah, you want to focus
Scholt
on
and
not to...
Budoso. That looks really good. I mean, you said it, last starter, Casper Foster. And I mean, there's quite a gap between Foster and Klonek. Budoso actually didn't do any mistakes, what we could see, any bigger mistakes. So where should he lose those 20 seconds?
Yeah, exactly.
Looks like a medal, smells like a medal.
Oh, well, we will wait and see, because we've still got quite a few athletes still to come through
is doing a great race out there as well. This is Thomas Heikkilä.
Yeah, this is the control before the TV split here. This is 16, you can see he's well prepared here, can open up a bit more speed then.
Yeah, and you can see Verhoef there, actually in the lead, 8 seconds ahead of Budoso. He just punched there a couple of seconds ago.
Great work from Guillaume Verhoef, another of the French athletes. They've got 4 men running in this final, of course, because Mathieu Barros-Valle, being the European champion, has his own place. How does Heikkilä match up then? And will he go quicker than Budoso, who is our current leader? He goes faster by just 4 seconds. So still all to play for as Mariani comes in towards the finish, and he's looking for a top 2 position here at the finish. Mariani, fantastic finish
this is going to be a
from
good
the
result.
Italian. And if you think he was 5th at the last World Sprint Championships 2 years ago, will he be able to improve that result then?
There are 4 runners out there that can beat, that come in now and beat Budoso, Heikkilä, Verhoef, Polsini and Foster. So it's probably going to be a top 6 for Mariani.
Really good result for Mariani as he kind of comes through the finish nice and fast here in front of a home crowd. Of course, this is actually a delayed World Championship. It's kind of delayed from COVID. They've had loads of chance to test this here. No, I think this is fine.
That's fine, yeah.
I think this is explaining why maybe
Verhoeven had a
Budoso...
good route out of 14 to 15. That was much better compared to the others.
Yeah, maybe Budoso also losing, maybe going back up the stairs after 16 as well, possibly. But Verhoeven looks fantastic here. And now, look, you can see this is the route choice now for 20, and this might prove the decisive moment because it's going to be different then for these three athletes. Hakeler dropping straight down out of the park. Budoso and Verhoeven going on the streets there where you can really get some nice speed up going down that street. It's a little bit less steep, so let's see how this is going to pan out then for all of these athletes as Arni Ronkanen from Finland comes in towards the second to last control.
And very soon we're going to have Polsini as well to TV2. He's at control 15 now. 17 is the TV control. This is Ronkainen.
Yeah, Ronkanen coming in here looking for a top 10 at the moment. And the helpers here have really done a good job of positioning all of our spectators as they cheer the athletes into the finish here. Into equal 9th place, the Finn at the moment. Crossing the line, they'll try and get cool nice and quickly. It's such tricky conditions running there. Here he is, Polsini.
This looks very good as well. He's going to take over the lead from Verhoeven.
This is incredible skills here from Polsini. The course that really suits him, although he's not run through that control. Interesting decision there. And here is Verhoeven. Is it going to be the new lead? It is going to be a new lead for France here at the finish. Smashing work here from Guillaume Verhoeven.
That is so good. I think he has a very good chance to get a medal in this race because, I mean, we said it before, it's Foster, Polsini and Hakeler out there. And Hakeler is 7 seconds behind at TV2.
And Hakeler, oh, look at that. Great reaction then from Verhoeven, I think, getting a nice big fist pump there, gets all the controls. You kind of can't allow yourself to celebrate until you get that printout and you know that you've got all the controls in the right order, and he is absolutely delighted by that. There is the man he's just taken over the lead from. And here's Hakeler then. Obviously, he took a different route then, going down the hill. This is what happens. So these are the different routes then here towards control 21. Goes down the stairs.
Best exit for Hakeler, I would say.
No.
I mean, it's okay.
But is he going to get in ahead of...
I don't think he's going to be able to be quicker than Verhoeven.
But he might be quicker than Budoso.
Yeah.
Oh, not sure then. It's got to be about these final few seconds of the race here. I don't think it's going to be good enough for a new lead, but will it be good enough for second? Will he go ahead of Zoltan Budoso?
Actually, they have the same time at the pre-morning.
Oh, this is going to be so tight here as Hakeler comes very wide here. And he's so close to the line, but I think he's not going to be fast enough here to take the lead. It's going to be tight with Budoso, though. That's where we're looking, and he is going to go faster. 4 seconds faster than Budoso. Hakeler in second place at the moment with Tino Polsini and Kasper Harlan Foster to come. And here is Foster, and he's caught up Isaac von Krusenfuer after he made several mistakes to the first few controls then. So Kasper Foster getting a good feedback here, going down on his way to control 16, got another route choice next, and we'll get the time check at the next one. He's going to climb here. And you can see he's kind of just left Isaac von Krusenfuer there. And
actually Polsini going through the park on a different route, 2021, different to Verhoeven and Hakeler.
So Hakeler there, I think, oh no, he was he behind Verhoeven anyway before that route choice?
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Actually, I think he didn't lose a lot of time there. He was 4 seconds behind, then after it, 7 after the team, yeah. Didn't lose more than 2 seconds on it.
Oh.
Foster, I see.
I don't think he's come across to the wrong bit. This is a mistake.
This is a mistake.
He's come across into, oh my goodness me.
He would have been in the lead. Now he is 4 seconds behind.
Oh my goodness me, 4 seconds behind. Kasper Foster making mistakes. He cut on across the grass.
Corner and then he crossed, he cut the grass. Honestly, that's a stupid mistake.
Yeah. It really is. It shows how fast he's pushing, I think, that he's making
But he has good
mistakes like
speed.
that.
I mean, he was ahead of Polsini. He would have been ahead of Polsini here. Is it Matthias
Varavaya, yeah, just coming into the finish here, the European champion. But no, in the mix for a top 10 at the moment, not looking for a top 6 or a medal this time, the Frenchman. He's still the European champion. Another solid performance here as he comes into the finish for equal place with Yannick Michels into 9th place. So
Polsini lost a lot of time on the long route. He was 17 seconds ahead of Verov. Now it's only 4 seconds. So this is the mistake again from Foster. You can see it cut the corner over the grass. I don't know what he thinks. I mean,
does he? Which path did he come
maybe
up
he thinks he's on the lower street and then cuts over up to the other. But I mean, then it's really a mistake because he was planning much ahead there. But Polsini should come to the finish now, but he has taken the Aston Key route as well. I have a feeling that he's playing it away here on the very last controls.
Where is he? Should be coming into this control here. Here he comes, the Swiss athlete. Is it going to be enough for a new leading time here? The Swiss fans will go crazy as he comes through to the finish, but it's not good enough. Oh, after such good execution, he throws it all away at the end here. Polsini's going to be outside of the medals as well. And goodness me, what an upset with only Kasper Harlem Foster to challenge. We can give a medal to Verove and to Hakeler here.
I mean, he lost.
Look, he was in the lead here.
Yeah, I mean, he lost about 17 seconds on the long route, and then he did the mistake from 21 to 22, a route choice mistake, exactly the same as Aston Key a couple of minutes ago.
And I think Verove is in shock.
He's going through the park. He could keep closer.
That's a long route.
Yeah, that's a long route. I mean, it's okay if he would go straighter to this.
And a mistake there as well. Yeah. Oh, just pushing too hard.
And then this really cost him the... Yeah, he was running in and out and in again. Played it away. Let's wait for Fosse.
So many mistakes here as we wait for Kasper Fosse then to come through. And Guillaume Verove, you can see he's kind of like pacing around. He's in some sort of shock
he's
here.
Very close. There's a good chance for him.
Yeah.
Maybe to even take the gold medal.
I feel like Varavaya is just like talking up his teammate Verove there, bigging him up.
They were together, Foster and from Cruz and Quena, because they split up on the route and then they came together again.
So von Krusenfuerne and Fosse running quite close together.
Yeah, they're
very close.
They are together, but they're splitting up every now and then. At control 20 now, 21 now. Only 2 controls to go.
So we're waiting then for Kasper Fosse, our last starter, that man in the right of your picture, Guillaume Verove. He is the current leader. The time, 16:24, so much longer than our course planners were expecting. It's so tricky out there. The athletes have not been able to go full speed. And we see Fosse's not going the quickest route choice either. Von Krusenfuerne is doing the best one, and Fosse's going to come from the other direction.
Fosse was very much ahead at the pre-warning, so I think he's still a chance.
Here he comes. Will it be enough for the win for Kasper Fosse today? So. Let's take a look at the time as he's at the second to last control. He's got 30 seconds. It's going to be another world title for Kasper Fosse. It was not a clean run by any stretch of the imagination, but it was enough. He had enough speed. He got enough of it right, and it is going to be a world title. Another sprint world title. 4 years after his last one, his sprint world title, Kasper Fosse going to take the win there today. Flat on the ground today, and he's such a good kind of orienteering, but you saw how many mistakes he made. He made an absolutely terrible mistake, 17. There were a couple of other ones as well, but wow, he managed to keep it together just about enough.
I mean, it's exactly what we're talking about in the beginning. It's so much about being quick in taking the decisions, in taking the right decisions at so many places as possible. And he is such a good orienteer. He's so good in taking these quick decisions. You can see that in the knockout sprints when it's really technical and it's head-to-head fights, he's so quick in his head. He takes quick decisions, and I think that saved him today because he did mistakes in between as well. He's not clear by any mean, but in the end he was the best in executing it when it really mattered. And then of course he had a couple of struggles as everyone else as well, but I mean 12 seconds, that's a gap in the, it's a gap in the
Yeah, it's a decent gap, and he was able to pull that kind of away in that last section. I think a good route down from 20 to 21, because even though he was making mistakes later on in the course, he kind of was able to find enough good routes and just hold it together. He clearly was pushing really hard because he was making mistakes, but it wasn't enough. And Budosho
yeah,
there,
we have
just
to highlight
outside the
Zoltan
medals.
Budosho. I mean, this was a very good race. If you look, especially at the start, he was 2 seconds behind at TV1. Then he's like 9 seconds behind at TV2. Loses then after this. I'm not sure if he did a mistake there, just between the pre-boarding for TV2 and TV2, because then suddenly he's 27 seconds behind. But anyway, a very good race here, and I think that's, if we want to talk about the surprise, I think he is it. Even though he did a good qualification this morning, I mean he started rather late.
But good,
well.
he's had good results from World Cup, Switzerland as well, into fifth.
Yeah, but he was never really up there. Not really in the fight. Not really that you had the feeling that he could win a race. Today it was like, in parts of it you thought, yeah, maybe if everything goes his way, he can win it. It's a very good start here to the first control, perfect execution, then also to the second control. It's a bit of pity that we don't have Polsini in here, because he was up there for a long time, basically to the penultimate control. Many different options chosen here by the runners, to 4, 5. You can see Budosho running around, Verhoeven as well. The others going through the school. Then here, 6 to 7, it's the first time you get a bit of time to kind of plan and look ahead a little bit. It's not as intense here. Budosho actually on the route that was the shortest one when it comes to distance, but you can see that Foster, I think he was quicker the other way. It surprised me that Budosho goes to the left, because he has already been at the stairs to the right from towards Control 7, so he could have basically followed the path he entered Control 7. This is maybe the easiest part here, between 8 and 10. And then from 13 it gets very intense again. You have these stairs, this park area. I can see they execute, I mean, so many different options chosen by the runners. Then a mistake from 16 to 17 for Foster.
That's the mistake.
Yeah, I mean, I think he thought he's on the lower street, but it doesn't make sense at all. I mean, he must have planned ahead and then kind of moved to the wrong place when he came back to this control.
You could also really see him stop at control 20 just to check that route choice.
And here actually he was together with Van Krusenhoven, and they split up every now and then, but they came together always. So I think he got the feedback that, yeah, my route isn't too bad, it's an option, it was a valid option. Then this one, actually, here he lost about 5 seconds compared to Van Krusenhoven and the others. It's where Polsini lost the medal, the silver medal as well.
And I'm here with the new world champion, Kasper Foster. Congratulations, world champion in sprint again. I think there's so much we could talk about from that race. What was your feeling going through it?
Yeah, it was a very stressful race. A lot of small details on the map you really had to read in order to find a way to the controls, which is quite special. I was a bit prepared for it, but when I saw the qualification course this morning, I thought, okay, maybe it's not as tricky as I expected, but this was maybe even more tricky than I had expected before the week. So yeah, I managed to do a pretty good race, but I do have some time losses, but I knew that it's hard to avoid those for everyone, so I tried to push really hard all the way. And I was expecting it to be quite tight, and yeah, I was not disappointed.
and we saw you do a mistake just after the start. We saw you in the open area together with Isak von Korsens. What runs through your head when you see, oh, I lost some seconds there?
Yeah, the first control I was not too worried. I mean, it was just a small mistake, maybe 5 seconds, and yeah, like looking at it, I'm quite sure that a lot of other people did the same thing. And yeah, when it's so tricky, it's more about avoiding the bigger mistakes and trying to have a really good flow most of the time. And yeah, a bit annoying to miss that control in the park towards the end. And yeah, I called up Isak, and I really could get the feeling when I lost time and when I gained time to him. And yeah, a very stressful race for me.
And then on the final controls, the last part of the race, what were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it seemed like I lost quite a lot of time on the last route choice compared to Isak, and yeah, but I mean, I got into the arena, it was a lot of noise, and I had no idea if it was gonna be first or second, or a tight finish for the goal. So I really pushed all the way to the finish, and such a great feeling to get into the finish, and having achieved the biggest goal of this year, and this individual sprint has been. I've been putting so much work into it, and really focusing on every little detail, fixing my own shoes, and really getting into the details with heat adaptation and hydration. I felt like I was so well prepared that even on a bad day I could do a good race, and I think I showed that today, that I can do a good race no matter what.
Congratulations again, and thank you, Kasper.
Thank you.
How annoying. He wins the World Championships and then he still has the brain power to do quite a good analysis of his race as well. I mean, if that's not impressive,
maybe
I don't know
was
what
part
is.
of the preparation already, the interview part.
Well, yeah, I mean, he kind of, you know, he analysed that really, really well, and it was really interesting that, you know, he knew that it was even trickier than he thought, and B, he kind of seemed to keep calm even though he was making mistakes. He knew people would be making mistakes out there. He knew they just needed to not be big ones.
But I mean, you can. It's easy. It's probably easier for him to act like this compared to Guillaume Verhove. I mean, he has been winning sprints before. He knows what it's needed. He knows how many seconds mistake that usually are enough to still be up there. But of course, I mean, then at the day X, you still have to get it out on the course, and you have to do it. You have to execute it. So good. You mentioned he's so reflected in everything he says. He knows what he's doing. He goes into the detail. You can feel that by going into the details, it gets like kind of calms him down as well. He knows then, okay, I've done everything, so even if I do 5-10 seconds mistake, I can still win it by 10 seconds. So it's, yeah, I mean, on beforehand, after I've seen the course yesterday in the meeting with the course planner, I could feel that my feeling was it's either gonna be Kasper Fosser or Tino Polsini, because they are good when it's very intense. I'm positively surprised by Guillaume Verhove. I mean, the French team is really great. They have been really great throughout the year, so it's not a surprise that someone from the French team is up there, but he would not have been my first pick on the silver medal position anyway. But of course, it's also an athlete. You could feel he's getting closer, he's gonna end up there at one point, but then it's another thing to get it at the World Championships and perform and get a silver medal in the biggest race of the season.
I mean, he was 7th at the European Championships last year. He was 3rd at the knockout in Sweden, and he really just, as you said, there's so many French guys who can do so well. And okay, Thomas Hakeler, let's talk about him first, because
he's half a minute behind at TV2. In the finish, he's 18 seconds behind. He has not been very good in the beginning, and still he's up there in 3rd position. So what Foster said about himself, that I know even at a bad day I can win this race. Well, Hakeler knows even at the not perfect day he can win a medal.
He can win a medal, exactly. Oh, that was a lovely moment there for Guillaume Verhove. And yeah, Kasper Fosser, another win for him to add to his growing World Champs collection. And It's such a tricky race. I mean, the word I would use to describe it, having seen the map, having looked at the analysis, having run it, it's just intense.
Yeah, it's very intense.
It's the number of decision making, and I know he will really have enjoyed that race. He said it was stressful with a big smile on his face because that's the orienteering he likes, you know.
Yeah, and when he feels it's stressful for him, it's going to be even more stressful for everyone else around him.
You're so right. But he's an athlete who runs with that kind of confidence. He knows he's good and that he can keep calm in those situations because he knows that if he's having a tricky situation, so will everybody else. All right, let's crown some world medalists then here in the flower ceremony. They actually get their proper medals, and we have a ceremony for the top 6 a little bit later on. It's kind of after all the results are verified and all of that kind of thing, any protests and all of that kind of thing. But we will celebrate our top 3, and in 3rd place from Finland, Thomas Heikkilä. So consistent in sprints, another medal to add to his collection. Really, really strong result then from Heikkilä. There's so much French support then for Guillaume Verove. In such a strong team across the men's and the women's race, you always think one of them is going to do it. One of them will get a medal. And today, at least in the men's race, it is Guillaume Verove. Just brilliant all the way throughout the course. And it wasn't a perfect race, but it did not need to be. Kasper Fosse, with what he said was his biggest aim of this whole season. Thanking the crowd then here, it is Kasper Fosse who is your new world orienteering champion in this individual sprint. And the podium there for these top 3. And great to see so many different nations in the top as well.
Just looking up, there are 2 nations with 2 athletes in the top 10. It's France and Australia.
It's pretty impressive. It's
a good result for Australia as well. I mean, Henry McNulty, he was 40 seconds behind after 2 minutes, 41 seconds in the finish, 41 seconds. He didn't lose a second from after 2 minutes to the finish. He could have won a medal today.
And he said that, didn't he? He said he found the start very tricky. Yeah, so he's upgraded on his best ever result. He was 9th 2 years ago in Edinburgh. He's taken an 8th place in a knockout before, but his personal best result then for Henry McNulty. And a lot for the Aussies to cheer for.
At the pre-control to TV2, he's 57 seconds behind. So from there to the finish, he was even 16 seconds quicker than Kasper Fosse.
Well, maybe watch out for Henry McNulty over a knockout sprint as well.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe the sprint relay.
I was going to say Team Australia.
We can follow the women's team then, but the men's team is very, very much ready.
Absolutely, very well prepared for these races. And of course, they will have done preparation as a team. You know, they'll have kind of made their own maps. They'll have set their own courses. They'll have been doing geeking on Google Maps, going into the little street view and looking around the streets. And they'll kind of have presented their findings to the rest of the team. That's how it tends to work. Anyway, we've had Ron race. We're only halfway through this broadcast because we've got the women's sprint coming up next, the World Championships. We're going to crown a new world champion. The defending champion, Tove Alexandersson from Sweden, is not here. She's focusing on a mountain running, a trail running this season. So we will have a new world champion on this course, a very tricky, very technical course. And again, it's very hot conditions, 29 degrees. If you're in the sun, it feels a lot hotter than that, and if you're out of the wind as well. But like Kasper Fosse said, you know, he's done his heat training, he's done his preparation, and the top athletes will absolutely have done that. So the situation for the women then, they don't know much of these details. They knew it was a 14-minute winning time. It was much longer than that for the men. They've got 3.6 kilometers, 85 meters of climb, and they start every 90 seconds out into the terrain. They've already done the qualification this morning. That was the top 15 in each of the 3 heats to make it through to the final. Each nation allowed 3 runners, and then there is a personal spot reserved for the world champion, the European champion, and other regional champions as well. But let's take a look at their course. Starts very similar to the men's.
Yeah, let me tell you something. If you like the men's course, you're going to like the women's course as well, because it's basically the same course with 2 shortcuts on it. So the same start here, control 1, 2, 3 is exactly the same as in the men's course. Then you have the long leg to 4. Even here we have the same control. Then TV control at control 5. 6, then a shorter one again. Here it's exactly the same course still. Longer leg to 7. And then here we're gonna very soon have a shortcut compared to the men's course 8, 9. They are kind of, here we have the shortcut, 2 controls, and this, I mean, from 8 to 10 or 11 even, you really have a bit of time to relax in the women's course. You had that in the men's course as well. 11 to 14, very intense as well, before we get to the TV control at 15, and then from 16 to 17. Something we have seen in the men's course, it's the same control then, 16 to 17. It doesn't really matter what kind of route you take, but you're not allowed to do any mistakes on it, of course. There are many different options you can take. They are about 3 or 4 seconds apart, but you shouldn't stay in the park in the way as Polsini did, because then you are in the risk zone for losing about 10 seconds. This again, 3 to 4, see it here. So there is this, there's only one way over the street. They said it in the team meeting, it's very obvious. It wasn't as obvious in the terrain as I expected it after hearing that. We had just 1 or 2 guys, I think, struggling there. But you can see that they're differing in distance. But something we learned is it's not that important how far it is distance-wise. It's really about, it can be 50 meters longer, but still quicker if you can avoid a couple of stairs and turns. It's you have to choose an option that you can execute well, preferably one where you can plan ahead a little bit as well. So if you lose 2 seconds on the leg, it might not be a big problem if you at least had time to prepare the coming legs. There's different routes here as well. We have seen that the red one is shorter, but the blue one, I think Kasper Fosse was quite quick on this one. I think he was quicker than the others.
Because you can just absolutely bomb it down the street, and
it's
you have
quite
time
a lot
to plan
up and down, which is hard to see here on the map on the other one. This is the long leg then with many different ways. I mean, Polsini did something red-like, but followed kind of too long in the park around, so didn't go as straight out. I think if you go straight out, it's okay, but then don't miss that there are artificial fences. I think most of the time losses were there. And then 17 to 18, we had a quite, there are not that many people going onto the wrong route there, but quite decisive. Aston Key, Tino Polsini, Kasper Fosse.
Yeah, all of them losing time here. And this is this last route choice that you can do, just give you a sense of what it's like around these streets. And just kind of, the gaps actually here aren't very narrow. It's quite doable here in terms of like spotting the gaps. And then they have this maze section around here. Doesn't look quite the same. And this is kind of going all the way around and minding out of the way of all of the spectators here. And actually, because it's the hottest part of the day, there aren't too many people out at the moment, actually, I've got to say.
It was Italians taking siesta now.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a lot busier for this morning's qualification. So let's go the start list then by the order of the qualification. So Anna Grell, Ilse Jumica will have been those who only just made it into the qualification. And then we can see the others. We've got the likes of Ida Agvi Christiansen, Paula Gross running quite early, Ifan Dongen as well, the winner of the Swedish Championships. Grace Malloy there for Great Britain too. And obviously we get those who did better in the qualification later on. Who are our favourites then? Who do you want to pick out? Malin?
I want to pick out Malin Agevik Christiansson, struggled a bit in the qualification, but then had a great run after it. After the first, I think it was one of the first
Basically
controls.
missed out number 1,
Yeah.
went to number 2, realised and had to go back to number 1 again, and then she flew round. So she's got a lot of potential here.
Then I think we can pick out, of course, Simona Abersold here. Well, we have seen the Hungarians, Rita Maramarosi. Maybe she can do as good as Widodo just a couple of minutes ago. But then, of course, Anna Lundberg, Theresa Roturier, Pia Youngwig, Cécile Gallandrin. I mean, everyone towards the end has proven this morning that they can handle this kind of terrain. Actually, the terrain from the qualification was a bit overlapping to the final.
Very overlapping.
Yeah, but the thing is that, well, if you look at the map, they're overlapping, but really how they were running on it was not exactly the same. So you can argue that they were in the same places, but they won't really notice that. So I don't think any decisive part was given away too early. They also opened up a couple of things which were closed on the qualification map. But it shows a bit, if you were able to perform well in the morning, in the qualification, then you might like this terrain from the afternoon as well.
So yeah, Anna Grull, our first finisher, our first starter in fact as well. The Austrian has finished in a time of over 20 minutes then, so expect that to come down quite significantly as we go around the course then today. Here's an interesting early starter, Eve van Dongen from the Netherlands, started orienteering as an adult living in Sweden and has got a lot of potential as well.
Yeah, but this is a replay, and I can tell you that she went into the dead end to the first control, so I think we can take her away from the list of favorites before we've seen her starting here.
Okay, well, let's have a look then here.
Not right from the start.
Oh,
I
not
don't
right
think
from
we're
the
going to
start.
see it. She's going to go left and then do the... Was it Van Krusenstjerna who went into the dead end?
It was Krifta.
Krifta, yeah. Right, and Benjamin Wey went in there as well. This is Paula Gross.
Yeah, Paula Gross from Switzerland on her way to TV number 5. So control number 5, TV1, there we go, that makes sense. And she's got to go through this school. It's so tricky here. Got to take a left and a left, go under the passage. It's really hard to simplify this kind of thing. Oh, she's just got to find the passage. You can see how... And what we haven't really talked about is how much map contact they're having. You know, how much you see they've folded up the map nice and small, looking at it a lot. And she's going to go there into 4th place.
She did a small mistake to the first control. You can see that she is struggling with being prepared at the control. You could see it also before when she missed this entrance a bit. She is struggling getting ahead with the map reading. She's like dropping behind a little bit. And of course, that's a very dangerous situation, so you have to be careful.
Here is Emma Waddington from Canada through to the finish here. Lots of support from her teammates. And she's actually only just a little bit slower than Anna Grull from Austria, crossing the line into 2nd place there ahead of the Latvian Jumika, who's actually still a junior, was racing at the Junior World Championships last week. So 8 seconds down then for Waddington. Still really early days then for these women in the racing here. And let's have a little look at the route choices then. Paula Gross already behind here.
I mean, all of the routes here executed, they're okay to take. I think here, many of the runners in the beginning, they really struggle with the intensity of this sprint. You could see it, I mean, we could see it with Paula Gross that she didn't do, if you make a replay of her run so far, it was good route choices, okay executed, but she's not really... She's never getting to a point where she really can be pushing physically. She's always reading the map, and that's the limit.
Looked like a Sharko there starting, and obviously she wouldn't have known what her teammate Zoltan Budosho has managed to do, taking that 4th place. Here comes Laura Robertson then, just punching that control. You can just about see her arm swipe out to punch the control. Back up the stairs here. And of course, this is where the women have a slightly shorter route. It's much better for them to go back up the stairs here, and then they're going to cut across the lawn to the next control. And it's a really good start here from Laura Robertson. So at that point, Emma Waddington from Canada was the fastest. But a good start here from Laura Robertson. And there's quite an interesting route you can take to the next control. You can cut through that gap there, go through some white and some green, and that's what she's done. This is a Van Dongen here on her way. Oh, that's going to be a mistake if she goes that way. And she'll go round towards the right-hand side. You can see that pace is slowed down here.
Yeah, how map reading is slowing her down.
Yeah, she kind of takes those shorter strides, and she, you can see her arms stationary here. And she's just not in control, quite in control here.
And I mean, you said it before, she started quite late with orienteering, and I think in here, I mean, she's a great sprint orienteer for having started so late, that's for sure. But maybe if you would find a disadvantage, then it's when you get in these really high intensity things. Because, I mean, just imagine if you have to learn to run and read the map at the same time. That's almost impossible for someone in an adult, and she did that and came to world-class level. But I think somewhere she has still this 2 or 3 percentages where she just loses time in very intense sprint orienteering.
Is Agatha Olejnik going to take the new fastest time? She's not. She was ahead of Anna Grell, but not got the speed at the end to make that. And yeah, I mean, I've been trying to coach adults, teach them how to orienteer. It's so much harder than teaching children, teaching juniors, because they can just pick up that skill so much faster. Let's take a look at Van Dongen then.
Yeah. I mean, she was running into the dead end here, as I said. And I mean, she's almost all the way down. Of course, that costs about half a minute.
Well, that's pretty much the whole time loss then from that control. Here's Smelikova from Slovakia.
Especially here, it shouldn't be a place where you hesitate.
But this is kind of what I guess has been a bit hidden in this sprint, is how many mistakes people have made, a few steps in the wrong direction, and even on the long leg, at the end.
Actually, what she did, she was running from 14, 15, so this is the leg we often see on TV where they come down from the control up here.
Oh my gosh, she's making another mistake.
She forgot 13, I think, and she noticed that, yeah. So now she's going back. So she did almost the Breivik thing, but she noticed now. But even without the mistake, would not have been a good route to 15.
No. Can she get that right this time? So here's 13 that she was about to miss out. She's got to go now back to 14 where she's already been and then continue on with the rest of the course. Here's Maija Sienoja from Finland, who I think has surprised herself in her sprint performances this season. Really coming to kind of the top of the Finnish team in terms of their success, and it's with really good results in both World Cup rounds in Switzerland and in Sweden. So definitely one to watch when it comes to this competition, if she can get it right. Here's Charko then from Hungary on her way to control number 5. And it looks like a good start here. Looking ahead to the control, you can see she's really looking up here. Is well prepared now, just preparing the last few bits here. Let's have a look. This is Nerea Gonzalez, and this is a new fastest time. The Spaniard into the lead. Great work from Nerea Gonzalez. That's a big lead there, 39 seconds. Okay, here's Ida Agvig Christiansen. 10th place at the European Championships last year. And she does have some good sprint credentials here, so she does have to climb these stairs. And will it be good enough for a new leading time there to go ahead of Laura Robertson? We'll get the time at the next control. It is different to the men's here. You can actually cut through the trees and you see the control right up ahead. And it gives you a few meters of calm, not very long though. And she should approach then through the middle here. You can see she's really planning ahead the next control, and maybe the one after if she's lucky. And she's going to take that different route. So equal time there with Laura Robertson of New Zealand.
And soon we're going to have Paula Gross to the TV control as well. She was in the lead at the pre-warning, so maybe a good time there. We have seen her struggling or hesitating at least before.
Yeah, Sila Donyi here, the second of our 3 Hungarians. Here is Katarina Dallara from Italy, of course, the home nation, into position. And will it be good enough for a new leading time for Laura Robertson here? It's not quite. It was a really good fast finish from Neri Gonzalez, so it's going to be second at the moment then for Laura Robertson. 13 seconds down, and it is a long old sprint for these women today. Goodness me, over 19 minutes. And as you mentioned, Paula Gross next to come to TV split number 2, and she had a good pre-warning.
Yeah, could be a best time. Yeah, it will be a best time. Actually, I liked how she executed 13 to 14. Took advantage that she could jump over a fence. I don't think we have seen that before. It is a possibility, and it's the shortest one. It shows that she is quite active.
So back and round then for Paula Gross. And Maija Sienoja is the next athlete to catch up with from Finland. She's really an all-rounder, is Maija Sienoja.
Also here, a lot of map contact. You can see she's basically reading the map every 3 or 4 seconds. I mean, this is a passage where you could, for the first time, really take a couple of seconds and just push very hard. But it's so hard to skip this and let it go and then refocus again. So it might be easier to try to read ahead and to read the map all the time. But then in the end, she wasn't really prepared anyway.
Just kind of, yeah, so got into the lead by a second, but it shows how
But it's so easy to say from here. I know, I mean, I've been there. It's so intense, and it's a pain to be reading all the time. And but you have to try to find those periods where you can push a bit harder, because otherwise you're just reading the map all the time and you're running on 80% all the time, and this will cost you.
Yeah, really, really well. Okay, out of the start there, that was Jana Petrova. Waiting here at TV2 then for our next athlete, as we can double check the standings then at the finish. Neri Gonzalez from Spain, our current leader, 19:26. Long times at the moment with 9 athletes through towards the finish. And that's actually, in fact, our 2 Spaniards already through to the finish there. Back to the start then, and this is Maddalena De Biasi, about to begin her World Championships final. Actually, really good to see lots of Italians making it through to the final in the women's class as well as the men's, with 2 of them through here to this women's final. Okay, catching up then at the finish.
This is Melikova, but it's more interesting than to see Ida Agervik Christiansson. Should just be behind, about 10 seconds behind.
Yeah, we know Smelikova, here she comes. Yeah, Smelikova made that mistake, had to go back to 13. This is Christiansen here, coming through, and a bit of a tricky qualification for her, I think.
Yeah, but this is going to be a new best time.
Oh, and it's going to be a big new best time here from Ida Agervik Christiansen. Really strong, and she's going to be pushing hard. Checks the punch there on the dibber, and she's going to go all the way through to the finish. And this is a big time gap taken off here. The new fastest time goes to Ida Agervik Christiansen from Denmark, 18:44. Watch out for Sister Marlin coming later. This is Yvonne Dongen, and she has gone into 4th. So still a good time, really, for Aoife van Dongen, despite that big mistake to number 1. I mean...
But you can see, I mean, she was, at one point, she was 17 seconds behind. Now she's only 8 seconds behind. So it's like you see the potential every now and then, but in the end, she will lose because she's lost time in sections, and in quite a couple of sections.
Yeah. Some moments of brilliance and some difficulty there. Silvia Gardoni is heading down the slope, and it also makes leading the map hard. You just got these little slopes. You're never on a flat. You know, you have to watch where you're going at all times. But this looks nice and composed here. This looks...
but this looks like not so nice and composed.
Yeah. As these school children having their break here, I think. And Gardoni keeping it nice and simple, but she's already 30 seconds down. Across the line, Katerina Dallara into 10th then. In the blue of Italy. 2:45 down on the new leading time from Ida Egervig Christiansen. This is Paula Gross next to the finish. The Swiss athlete, but as you can see, she's not going to be as quick as the Dane. Looking for second place at the moment.
Yeah, she must have lost a lot of time in the route choice. She was ahead of Egervig Christiansen at the TV control. And then after it, at the pre-warning, 22 seconds behind.
Here's Maicina. Yeah, this means there will be a mistake here.
Probably at this, not a good
Yeah, you
exit.
can't go into there at all. There's a dead end. I mean, you said earlier there's no traps, and the course setters were saying there's no traps. There absolutely are traps.
Yeah, but not in a... Yeah, okay. But, I mean... Yeah. Agree a little bit, but it's not that...
No, because another mapper would have put that all as green and you can't go there.
Yeah, you could have done that. Actually,
You know?
I thought that when I passed there, it's a bit of unnecessary to have it open. At the same time, it is your job to check to the left and to the right if there are options. And if you can't get through, I don't really see this as a real trap. Trap for me is like when you have artificial fences built up somewhere and really try to build something. This is not built. This is just not... in the terrain, not possible to get through.
Yeah, so Chaco will get the time check out the next control. At that point, as you mentioned, Paula Gross the fastest, faster than Christiansen, but obviously making mistakes in that route choice. It'll be really interesting to see what the Dane has done on the route choices there, because I think that would have been a good one. Let's hear from her now.
And I'm here with the new leader in the women's class, Ida Egervig Christiansen. Tell us about your race.
Yeah, I think I had an overall stable race. I know I've lost some time in the beginning just by hesitating a lot, not really making any bigger mistakes, but just sometimes losing track of where you are on the map and sometimes just standing still for a long time trying to decide which route choice to go or even to just figure out where you can get through. So, but I think my finish was quite good. So I'm happy that I didn't make any bigger mistakes, but physically I'm not really where I want to be right now, so I think someone will be quite a lot faster.
And was the course harder than you imagined?
It was really tricky, but I think I was prepared for that. And I like it that way as well. So not trickier than I expected, but very tricky, yes.
We'll see how it goes for you today. Thank you, Ida.
Thank you very much.
Erling there pronouncing how Ida's name, demonstrating how Ida's name should be pronounced. But yeah, I mean, she clearly enjoyed the difficulty there, and you can see, you know, she was definitely having some troubles towards the start, but picked it up. Okay, here's Eve van Dongen next through towards the finish, and if we remember that, so she's got to not make a mistake here as well. So she made a big mistake to control number one, lost about 30 seconds, and has done such a great job to catch that back up. But yeah, not quite as good as the Dane on this last section. She's going to round out this corner and come in towards the finish here. It's going to be outside of the top two, but should be faster than the Spaniard here. And here she comes, crossing the line into third place. And yeah, look at that, you know, she lost about 30 seconds on control number one. She had a chance to go into the leading positions there. A very, very stressful situation. Here's Maya Cianea. And we saw, remember, she made a mistake out of control number 6, went into a dead end, a little playground you shouldn't have done. And this will be a mistake as well, I think, here, because she's taking the lower path, and that will be longer.
Yeah, I mean, she was at control 13 here.
Oh, sorry.
So
yeah.
this is
I'm getting ahead of myself.
valid option to do. But
yeah.
I mean, yeah, and the feeling she has after that mistake, I mean, she knows it was a big mistake and she won't get the top 10 results with this. So
this is a good run up here.
So I think it's going to be tough for her to really keep it together all the way.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, we just missed Grace Malloy going into the lead then at that point, 14:07, so faster than Christiansen. And Maya Sianoya then into equal 5th place with Eve van Dongen, who's just gone into 3rd position then at the finish. So Grace Malloy running well, so too Annabelle Delaine out on the course there. Let's take a look at the Austrian Ilvi Kastner next to head out. Takes a big breath there as she sees the time counting down in front of her. She takes the map off. This is the first time she sees the map and the course and the challenge that is in front of them. And, you know, it was a fairly, in comparison, a much easier qualification. But this is, I mean, they've pulled out all the stops. The course planner was saying, the course setter was saying, he did not want to make it boring. And this is the opposite of boring here.
Yeah, he said he wanted the best orienteer to win, and I think that's definitely something we're going to see. You have to be a good orienteer. I mean, we have seen...
you can't just be a good
Kasper
runner.
Fosse before. You have to be quick in your head and, well, sprint. I mean, it's not the execution really often that's a problem, but you have to be quick and take decisions. You have to find the route choices, and I think Alessio Tenadi, the course planner, he did a very good job with his courses, even though they're a bit too long.
Yeah, they are a bit too long, but very experienced course planner. Loads of World Cups and European champs and training races and test races leading up to this one here. As we can see, Boglaka Chako in towards the finish. The Hungarian here we've caught a lot of throughout this broadcast. And here we are then back in the mix with Vera Klemetinen from Finland. Past the skate park here. And down towards control number 5. Aline, the only small saving grace in this very, very hot competition is that most of it is downhill. But it does make it tricky.
But it's still 100 meters to climb.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a flat sprint.
No, Mike, no. But it could be worse.
It could definitely be worse. We were joking about it. When you run to the start, it reminds a bit to the long distance in Switzerland, where you had the start so much higher than the finish.
Yeah, but that one you took a cable car up to.
That's true. But this is a sprint, so. But
So
you should take the bike then up to the start.
Yeah, well, what you don't try and do if you're unfit like me is try and follow Judith Vida, the European mountain running champion, up the hill. That's not a good plan. All right, here's Grace Malloy from Great Britain coming into the finish here, looking for a top 3 position here at the finish. She definitely had some struggles at the start, but has picked up some speed here, and there's her family, lots of her friends are out here. Looks like it's going to be good enough for 2nd place at the moment. Grace Malloy, who was 6th 2 years ago in a home world championships, going to be cheered on to the others here, fighting hard all the way. It's going to be a 2nd place currently for Grace Malloy of Great Britain. And this race, a big target for Grace. So too will the knockout sprint be as well, of course.
But as well, I mean, she was in the middle of the TV1. She was half a minute behind, then at kind of the pre-warning. Of course, now we have Delaine is coming very soon there, so that's also an indication. But a minute behind at TV2 compared to, or pre-warning to TV2 compared to Annabelle Delaine, it's a bit too much.
Yeah. Some trickiness out on the course there. This is Sandra Grosberger from Latvia. One of those athletes who you just see back time and time again at the World and European Championships. As we see Alva Sonesson next through at this point. 4th place at the European Championships. And so Delaine, Annabelle Delaine has set a big fast time, but there's a big mistake here.
A huge
What is happening?
Well, she went to 12 and to 13. I think she makes it much more complicated than it is. So she is going to lose time. She was in the lead at the pre-warning, but she's not going to be at 13 anymore.
Maya Sianoya here. This is going to be a new 2nd fastest time for the Finn. Another solid run from her into 2nd place. And I think these athletes are going to be surprised at how long it is, because these are really quality athletes coming through now, and they would expect to be much closer to 14 minutes. It's really
I mean,
long.
Then every time we have a good race ongoing, there's a big mistake coming. I mean, now we had Annabelle Dulaine. She was a minute quicker to the pre-warning, but now she loses a minute here on this control, at least.
Yeah, so what you're saying there is there's room for people to go faster.
Yeah, there's definitely room.
So into this control number 5 for Ylvi Kastner. Just checking the routes here, looking ahead to the control itself. And we'll prepare the next control. She's taking in and making those decisions so quickly. And of course, I mean, when you've come in that way, you know, to know that the next control is back out the same way, it gives you a few extra meters. Here we go then. This is Dulaine, and this is how far ahead she was of Ida Agve Christiansen. And then look at this.
She could just go and pass 11 again around the corner there, but she goes all the way. She makes it much more complicated than it actually is. And she almost gives away the
faster
minute.
though. She's still ahead. She's not as ahead by as much, but she is still ahead.
Yeah, but she was almost a minute ahead.
Yeah.
And talking about Agve Christiansen, her sister ran into the dead end after the start.
Oh, okay. So she's had two. Here's Anna Djukon, just getting the right passageway here. So yeah, Malin Agve Christiansen has had mistakes then to number 1 on the qualification and on the final, but she managed to catch up a lot of time.
So to give you the time here, so Dulaine was a minute ahead of Agve Christiansen at the pre-warning, and then she was 6 seconds ahead at the control. So it was almost a minute she lost there.
Wow. Well, Kristin Melby Jacobsen, a new name to the team, the World Championships team for Norway. I think brought up with, you know, Andrina Benjaminsen has an injury, a stress fracture, not able to make these World Championships, and there's a mistake going out out of the start. You have to go left there. Let's take, this looks like Alexandra Hornick in towards the finish. So Hornick to the finish here. Some really good sprint pedigree, but it's not her day today. She was 4th 2 years ago. Struggling though here in such a technical and tricky course, down into 12th position then. Alexandra Hornick of Poland, 1:31 behind, jogs all the way in to get the download. Here is De Biasi, I think, yeah, the Italian, on her way to split control number 2. So if you're following on the GPS, that is number 15. This point, Malloy was the fastest. De Biasi over 30 seconds down here. Gardoni, Silla Gardoni there into equal 6th there, equal with her teammates. And we're seeing lots and lots of athletes making mistakes out here. Make sure you've got the GPS tracking up as well as the broadcast. I would thoroughly recommend it, because Kristin Melby Jacobsen's made a mistake. Here's Malin Agve Christiansen.
Almost fell into the fence there.
Well, it's very slippy. We know people making the mistakes there. Remind us where her mistake was. This was number 1, was it, for Malin as well?
Yeah, she went into the dead end, as did Melby Jacobsen now as well. So many of the athletes going into this dead end just after the start, or halfway through control 1.
And I mean, these athletes will have nerves on that start line, won't they?
Yeah, and I mean, it's such a bad start. I still think that Malin Agve Christiansen can get a good result, even if she has 40 seconds of a mistake to the first control. But I mean, she won't get a medal. That's just, I mean, 40 seconds is just too much.
So you can see the different routes there. And now we have one of our big favourites starting relatively early today. This is Simona Abersold of Switzerland, the defending silver medalist. She won at the last round of the World Cup in Sweden. A very, very different style sprint to this one. But like her partner Kasper Fosse, you know, she'll have been doing all the preparation she possibly can. This will be the big aim for both of them on today's course. Oh. Vera Klemetinen dropping down the steps here. Yep, you absolutely can. And approaching the next control from below. A valid route choice here for the Finn. And we'll follow Simone Abersold's route with
first
great
turn was
detail.
correct. So not into the dead end right after the start. Not the same mistake as Kasper Fosse did.
No, and Klemetinen then, she's still got a few meters to make it to the next TV control, which you can now see in the distance. She'll come across the park here.
Annabelle Dullen, I think, on the way to the finish. Can't see her in the screen here.
Yeah, she's just crossed the line, I think. And here is Hedvig Fabian Pedersen. Yeah. This is the new Danish sensation in the knockout sprint. Her power, her speed is very, very good. And she's coming through here just nice and steady and 12 seconds off, but in third place. When we know Dullen's made a mistake, we need to look out for Dukon because she's doing really well around the course, as we saw her at that point. This is Maëlle Beauvais, another of the French athletes with some good form as well. The French team on both the men's and the women's side in really good position. And you can see she's just keeping it nice and steady to that first control. Here's Alva Sonesson from Sweden, dropping down. This is the control before TV2.
Yeah, but more interesting than after her, Anne Dyrkon. The next one then to the TV control started, 3 minutes behind Sunesson. Not the wait's not going to be that long, I think.
No, because Dyrkon is doing really well. I mean, Dyrkon was just, you know, such a stalwart in the Norwegian sprint relay team. You know, she was the top, you know, in the top 2 Norwegians, and then has had a few years not quite being able to perform at that level. But it's great to see her back and running really well as Sonesson goes through. So back at the start, this is Rita Maramarossi. In her first year as a senior, great success. You can see there, previous junior world champion in the sprint. She was 9th in the World Cup in Sweden. Lots of potential from this young athlete. Will she be, Hungary has so much success in the junior level. Will she be the one to really convert that into the senior level? So Sultan Budoso has done so in this race, in the men's race, coming 4th. Here's Ilvi Kastner. And we're nearly into the top 10 then, athletes starting. And Kastner looking quite composed here. There's the control. And she'll continue up the stairs. Nicely well prepared for these few controls here. But not quite going to be good enough then for the new leading time. A reminder, Ida Agevik Christiansen is our current leader with a time of only just under 19 minutes. And Kastner actually in touching distance here. This is a really good run here.
Yeah, but just in a couple of seconds, I think we're going to have Anne Dyrkon coming to this, and then it will be a clear new best time. Maybe she lost a bit, I'm not sure. Here she is.
Here she comes. So the Norwegian, she had such a great start at TV1. And she's had a good pre-warning as well. Oh, look at this. This is a big gap here. Dyrkon is just putting everything together to make a really good start of the course here. But the course is really going to change in characteristics after the next control, where you get that big, long route choice. She's going to cut through the trees here. It's a valid route choice. And another first-year senior, Lucy Dietrichova, is coming through here. And will she be able to put together a good result? This is Simone Abersold. So one of our big favourites for today's race.
Look good so far, what I can see. It's very good in the first couple of controls and didn't see any mistake to this point. Looks good here as well. She knows where to go. Reading the map carefully in and out.
Yeah, this is nice and speedy here.
I mean,
She did good
35
execution.
seconds ahead after 5 minutes of running. That's a lot.
Really good start from Simona Abersold.
It's about 10% quicker.
Here's Klemetinen around the corner. And only one more control to go before the finish line for Vera Klemetinen. And she's just about catching up the Japanese athlete, which it was great to see her make this final. And Klemetinen gonna go outside the top 5. Quite as quick as Eve van Dongen either. So into 7th place here, and we get some of the really fast athletes now. Natalia Gempeler, the defending bronze medalist, hasn't quite had as good a season as she's been used to, I think. She has been off the pace quite a bit, definitely in the Swedish World Cup as well. I almost want to hold that shot for just a couple more seconds to see which way she goes.
You could see that she was hesitating a little bit. She was on the edge, but I can tell you in a couple of seconds. I think it looked all fine.
Alva Sonesson here. This is a speedy finish from Alva Sonesson, and will it be a new leading time here? This is fantastic for the Swede, who's caught up time on the last part of the course. There is time to be caught up, and Alva Sonesson from Sweden. I mean, she's always been kind of there or thereabouts, but this was a really fast end, and we've not been seeing much GPS tracking from these last few routes to see just what she's done so well. But maybe when she could open up, when she could push the running, yeah, she's made it count here as the first of our Swedish women to reach the finish. Very strong, but we're looking for Anna Dyrkorn, I think, next, who started 3 minutes after. We're looking for Kastner, though, first, who was actually quite good.
Longer route to 17, so it's going to take another minute until she is at the penultimate control.
We're waiting for Kastner, though, here, who's still got a couple of controls to go.
Yeah, but I mean, she's almost caught by Dyrkorn. She's about 20, 25 seconds ahead.
Yeah, so she had a control just like behind by a cafe there, and now runs through to the next control. Can she stay ahead of the Norwegian? I think she will. They've got to contend with buses, though, here as well. She will wait for her then at the second to last control for the Austrian. There's a little bit of a maze set up here. It's not too tricky, though, for all of these athletes. Just gives them something to think about. And Kastner, the next one to make it through to the finish, but she looks like she'll be outside of the top 6, but the one we're really waiting for is Dyrkorn, and here she is already. She's caught up a minute and a half there, nearly on Kastner. And look at that, this is an incredible run from the Norwegian. How is this gonna stack up when we have some of the quick runners still to come? This is a very, very good performance here from Anna Dyrkorn from Norway, punching that last control and just looking fantastic, cool, calm and collected on the finish here, pushing all the way to the line, and it's going to be a big lead there, 35 seconds ahead of Alva Sonesson, and until a few minutes ago that's 41 2 seconds ahead of the others.
Last time, 2024, when it was the World Cup in Genoa, Anna Dyrkorn finished as a 3rd. So it seems to be a good city for her.
Yeah, she absolutely loves Geneva here. Something about these, maybe running in the heat or running in the tricky maze-like alleyways and little passages. It's very good. And Dimitrova here, ready to come to the 5th control. And what a good run she had on the last leg for the Czech relay team, stepping up in her first year as a senior. Lots of potential for this young athlete. And she's going to go into second place here. A long way down on Abersold, but crucially ahead of Dürkorn here. And this is really good running from the young Czech athlete.
And in a couple, I would say in about a minute, we should be able to see Simona Abersold towards TV2, and looks very good for her. We can come back to that.
And this is Sanna Fast, and I think this is going to be a real test for Sanna Fast. She took third place in Sweden because we really saw her trying to fix her sprint technique. She had the speed, but she didn't quite have the technique in Switzerland. She managed to do a lot better job in Sweden, but how will her sprint technique hold up? She's certainly got the pace, but I'm not sure this is a course that's going to suit her.
Yeah, well, why not? I mean, it's intense. She knows that she has the speed. She's got a good feedback from the last World Cup.
Yeah.
And
well, you know,
I haven't seen her so many times in sprint, so it's hard to say how good she is in those intense sprint races like this one. This is Malin Agervik Christiansson on the way to the finish. We know that she struggled in the beginning.
Yeah, she's going to be trying to match her sister Ida, but it's going to come out slower. Looks like she's going to be trying to aim for a top 6th place here, coming round the finish. Of course, took second place at the World Cup in Sweden, but a bit of a tougher challenge there for Malin today. And equal with Maja Sienoja goes 4th.
Now we see Simona Abersold. I can tell you this is a great race so far. I think she's more than a minute quicker.
Look at the aggression then that she kind of takes those kind of corners, taking that change of pace. You know, she's really pushing it. But we'll go from one Swiss to another as both Natalia Gempela and Simona Abersold reach our TV controls at the same time. Let's take Simona Abersold. What is the gap as she is catching runners up here?
1.5 minutes.
Goodness me, I nearly swore there. 1:32.
You're not on the BBC. You can do whatever you want.
Oh no, I can't. I'm still not allowed. That is incredible stuff from Simona Abersold. As Gempela is a minute down. Goodness me. She's going to go drop a long way off. There will have been some mistakes, then I think here from Natalia Gempela. But I think we're going to hear from Anna Dürkorn very, very soon. It'll be good to get the thoughts of the new leader here. And let's see, does Gempela make a mistake? Let's hear from Anna Dürkorn though.
And I'm here with the new leader in the women's class, Anna Dürkorn from Norway. Anna, what was your race? How was that?
It was really fun, but it was really difficult as well. I had to stop all the time to make sure that I had all my route choice clear, and I also read to the wrong control once, but I think I made a reasonable route choice to the it was the 7th and I read the 9th, but I think it was it was really fun.
Some might remember you had a 3rd place at the World Cup race in Genoa. Do you have some special thing for this city and orienteering here?
Maybe it's often when it's technical and like mistakes are a big part of the race. Maybe that that fits me the best. But yeah, I think it was more difficult now than then. Maybe.
Okay, we'll see how it goes for you today. Thank you, Anna.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, she suits the technical challenge, and she absolutely does. Here's Hedvig Valbjørn Gudesen, and she's going to go into second fastest time here. The Dane, 18:08 for Hedvig Valbjørn Gudesen, whose chance, I think, really comes in the knockout. But she must have pulled up a few places towards the end here, where you know that she can open up and she can use that really fast pace that she's got. Here's Sanna Fast.
This is going to be interesting now.
Let's watch for the Swedish athletes, and she's going to go to the right of the school here. Still keeping a decent pace. You can see how much she's reading her map. You can really tell when athletes put both hands on their map, they really got high map contact, and now she can run a little bit more down this slope.
I can tell you that she hasn't done any mistakes here. Looks good on the GPS, but she's behind, and quite far behind. Not only behind Abersold, but also behind Dietrichova. And actually, Dietrichova, she's doing a good race here. She's soon to be at TV2. And I mean, she was 23 seconds behind Abersold at the first TV control, in second position there.
So Sanna Fast goes 6th. But we have big gaps behind Abersold
Really have.
on this course, and I mean Abersold is, I mean, clearly she was jogging the qualification, because goodness me, this is incredible.
She's going so strong even now. Still, we have her in the picture. It was a good route to 17, no problems at all then.
Well, will this be a World Championship winning run? We will wait and see. Yeah, she's looking really good here. So we'll catch her on the way to the 18th control. She's got a lot of cars to contend with on the road here, but I mean, look at the time that she has. She's
honestly,
got time and more.
I've been looking at her GPS most of the time now. I can't really say where she could be quicker. She's going so good on every route.
Maybe lost
here,
2 seconds on this one. I don't think that's going to matter.
You said before the maze is not a problem, but it was a bit of a problem here.
No, I don't think it was a problem at all. And look at the clock here, people. Look at this margin. She's starting comparatively early. She must have jogged around the qualification, because this is huge here for Simona Abersold. Time will tell. We'll know very soon whether it's going to be enough to take her first sprint world title. But 2 minutes and 2 seconds faster than Jikon. Oh my goodness me.
This is going to be so hard to beat. So hard to beat, because it seems like physically it was good. I can't really see, I mean, it's hard to say if there were any hesitations on the GPS, but there were good route choices all the way. And she seems quite satisfied as well, often a good indication then in the finish.
Well, she does know how to smile and wave to a camera, but no, I agree with you.
Yeah,
You can tell that looked really good.
Here.
I think it did. Okay, we've got 2 runners left to start. This is Teresa Roturier from Czechia. 4th in Switzerland, 7th in Sweden, but she's really kind of pulled up, I think, her kind of form and her fitness, her performances this season compared to a couple of seasons ago. Here's Dietrichova, and she's caught up Rita Mara-Morosi. We're looking for the Czech athlete in the blue top and black shorts, because Dietrichova is running really, really well today.
She's running for a medal here.
And she will know that she's caught up a whole minute and a half then on Mara-Morosi.
She's well prepared at the controls as well.
Okay, so it's 45 seconds gap, but there's 45 seconds ahead and behind her. This is Cécile Calandry.
Yeah, and I can tell you that Calandry did a small mistake to the first control. Actually, we had all of them, Pia Youngvik, Roturier and Calandry doing a small mistake to the first control, and now also Hanna Lundberg, but Hanna Lundberg actually ran into the dead end. The others did just this turn where they come from behind the control down the steps. So about 5 to 7 seconds maybe they gave away, but Lundberg, I would say 25 here to the first control.
And you could tell, you know, that just in what we see of Calandry there, you know, she made lots and lots of time losses, just so we can see there, and that's what is adding up. Here's our last starter, Hanna Lundberg, the winner of the Swiss World Cup, the silver medal at the European Championships.
And I already gave it away, but she ran into the dead end just after this corner here. Looks everything fine here, so this is a replay.
Oh no, I thought we were going to have a look there. Let's have a look at Abersold then ahead of the others.
And behind, good fight between Durkon and Dietrichova. Dietrichova, this is the route that Fosse executed to 7.
Oh no, it's fine. Sorry. I think the GPS is doing quite a good job in this town here.
Yeah,
but,
actually, it's quite good. Compared to other sprints we had this year, this is quite okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure how well it's going to, you know, if we go to the old town later, I don't think that's going to work very well.
This is going to be interesting now. Pia Youngvik has said it. I would say she gave away about 7-8 seconds to the first control. She is behind Dietrichova.
Yeah, but it's good enough for... Is it good enough for third?
I think so, yeah.
So not the best start, not the worst start, as she went into there about third place.
But this is a mistake, you can't exit there.
And of course, we only see a small snapshot of this course at this point. There will have been many mistakes like that from so many athletes all the way around here.
But that's the thing, when we saw Simona Abersold, it looked like Kasper Fosse was talking about the flow, and she looked to be in the flow. It looked very, very smooth all the way. And here, with many of the runners, you get the feeling that they are fighting. They're really fighting. every meter they have to fight for. They get nothing for free. And I think that's it. In the end, that's the big difference here.
So Gempler was already quite a long way down at the TV1, and she's going to be even further down there now because she's still got 2 more controls to go. You can see her time just dropping there at every kind of radio control that we have out on the course today. Not in her top form, Natalia Gempler.
Couturier to the first TV control.
Yeah.
Kind of the same situation as for Pia Youngvik. Many of the runners, they run towards the stairs there.
It kind of gives, you know, it's like, what's the instruction in her head? But this is much better. Oh, she is down. Much better executed. I was going to say.
It's kind of the Michels, but not that extreme.
So equal with Asana Fast. But she looks still a little bit better than Calandri through there, and she is ahead of her. This looks like Victoria Hestad Bjornstad. It absolutely is coming to TV2. This is 2 controls before it. This is control number 13. And yeah, she's behind as well.
And just a couple of seconds, we're going to have Dietrichova. Here we have her to control 18. I think this is going to be interesting because she's very much in the fight for a medal today.
Yeah,
and not the best execution here. It's the same as Simona did.
Yeah, she's going to lose a couple of seconds. Will it matter in the end, or will we have big gaps here?
These are 2 seconds, maybe. It's not a big mistake at this point.
I mean, but 2 seconds in a sprint, it could be the difference between a medal or not.
Not at the moment, because she has a minute to go here.
Well, is this going to be a medal fight for Dietrichova here from Czechia? The new young star of orienteering from Czechia, and she's going to go into a clear 2nd place. Well, the 118, what's it going to be?
She has very good chances to get a medal today. With this, I mean, she was...
Why? Because we've seen mistakes from other runners?
And it looks like she didn't do any bigger mistakes. She loses 15 seconds to the pre-warning, 24, TV1, 34, 45, 113. Then it's about that to the finish. It was a good race, and many of the others struggled. Hanna Lundberg, for example, she already lost half a minute to the first control. I mean, then she has no buffer to give away anything more, basically. You can see it here, she's almost a minute
such a
behind
flawless
here
performance
at
from
this
Abersold. Yeah, 13th place there for Hanna Lundberg, our last starter.
But of course, I mean, Pia Youngvik is not far away, Teresa Routurier is not far away, but I mean, we need 2 of the competitors that who beat Dietrichova in order to get her out of the medal spots, and I think she has a very good chance to get a medal.
So let's take the
and
comparison.
She actually hesitated here.
So Lundberg mistake. Well, I mean, how are people not noticing after that long? Vic, not the best route choice.
That's we had 3 runners in a row doing this. Routurier, Pia Youngvik.
She's always also lost time going further to 2. Abersold just gets every route.
Yeah, she executed everything really, really good. This is Nurminen, I think.
Yeah, it is Nurminen, and she was 3rd at the European Championships. So good potential here. But again, even just the way she kind of goes down the stairs, you compare that to Simona Abersold and you see just how good Simona was. And how well prepared. I mean, I don't think you could have done that course better. Nurminen though here, she'll get the time check at the next control, and then now you get into some traffic with some fast people here. So Nurminen into 6th place at the moment. Our top 3 at the finish: Simona Abersold, Lucy Dietrichova, and then Anna Dukorn. I think Nurminen just a little bit slower there.
The next interesting names then to the 2nd TV. I think you're gonna be Pia Youngvik. Then there is Routurier and Hanna Lundberg.
Natalia Gempler comes through here. We've had mistakes from her today. It's not a vintage Gempler performance. And she is looking then for a kind of, I guess, a top 10 here at the finish. Coming around this corner, then we get a lot of athletes very close together in time here. And Kempele equal 10th then with Delaine. Hey, not her best day today. Here's Cécile Calandry, the European champion in the knockouts.
Yeah, but she's too far behind already. You can see, I mean, the gap to Dietrichova, more than 40 seconds.
And that's what we're really looking for now, is which athletes can challenge Dietrichova.
Yeah, I would say so, because I can't really see a scenario where someone is going to beat Abersold with the start they had to the first TV control. I mean, we had everyone to the first TV control, and no one to come is within half a minute. So it's going to be, I don't think anyone is going to beat Abersold. So the fight, for me, it's a fight for the silver or
the bronze. Yeah, I think so too. Here's Pia Young-Vik, the European champion. And after winning that, she has just such a really consistently high performances. And she too is on her way to, oh, she's just got to check those. I mean, it's good that you've got those little bits of branding there. And
the thing is that Dietrichova loses about half a minute on the long leg. There's definitely room to do this one better. I don't think, well, it will be hard to be as quick as Abersold, but you have to, there's a possibility there. So still, I mean, Pia Young-Vik, the silver medal, this 15 or 20 seconds to Dietrichova is still possible. But she needs to execute it really, really well.
So there's a possibility for Pia Young-Vik to go and bring herself up to a silver medal position. We'll wait and see. This is Sanna Fast from Sweden, and she's a 6th to last starter here. And will it be good enough to get herself into the top 3? It will not. She's going to be slower, I think, here than Dukon. And not quick enough here to match Abersold, to match Dietrichova. Sanna Fast looking for a top 6 now. And you can tell she knew the body language there of her. She's not fighting,
2
really.
minutes behind and you're in 4th. And there are not that many runners to come. This is going to be one of the races with the biggest gap from first to second.
It's literally what I was just thinking. In a sprint, I wonder if anybody can tell me if there's been one further, a bigger gap.
I can't remember.
I can't think of one.
I mean, we have been in business for a while.
We have, and I mean, there's been times where Tove has made a big mistake and then come back and won it. I don't think she's ever had that big of a winning margin.
It's more than a minute at the moment. And I mean, it's going to be tough for anyone to beat, to take the 2nd place from Dietrichova. And it's 1:18, the gap between Abersold and Dietrichova.
That, yeah, I from remembering from Tova's wins in the sprints, she's always made a mistake in them, but still won it. So I don't think she's ever had that good of a race where she's had the potential to be that much quicker than everybody else, but not in the execution. And this is, and Roturier goes 4th, so a little bit slower than Pia Young-Vik, and we've got one more runner to come in Hannah Lundberg.
She's 13 seconds behind Pia Young-Vik, and Pia Young-Vik at the moment in 3rd, so there's still a possibility for a medal for Teresa Roturier.
That absolutely is. Nurminen, an interesting choice to go around the vegetation there. And she's fighting hard here, fighting much harder than Sanna Fast. And she's looking for a top 6 position here. If she knocked Alva Sonnersen out of the top 6, she absolutely will here. Across the line, really fighting for it. Every single second there. And great work here as Simona Abersold, I think, congratulates her. She's just hanging around at the finish there for everybody. Here's our last starter then, and we know Hannah Lundberg was already like 30, 40 seconds down at that first TV control. So already made mistakes, and she will punch this one next and then the other. And we're looking really at the times compared to Vic and compared to Roturier. And compared to Anna Dukon, who's currently in 3rd position at the finish. But it doesn't look good enough for Hannah Lundberg today. Too many mistakes. especially early on. I was not expecting number one to catch that many people out, but when you have all that extra bit mapped, you think that there should be a cut through, and they just can't see it on the map.
I mean, the thing is that you get just a couple of seconds. You have no chance to read ahead from the start, obviously, and you have just a couple of seconds to take the first position, and that's a difficulty. It shows how important it is to read ahead when you have the chance.
And this is the most high-pressure race, you know, of them all. This is you feel like you need to attack it right out of the start, and you just can't. Otherwise, you're going to make a mistake like that. Calandri into 6th position.
And actually, at the pre-warning, so at the second to last control, we have Pia Youngvik.
Here she is.
Exactly the same time as Lucy Dietrichova.
Okay, what will it be then for Pia Youngvik? Will it be a silver or a bronze medal position? It could be shared as well. Here's the Norwegian. There's lots of Norwegian support here. There they are, all around the finish line. And I think it's going to be good for a silver here. Pia Youngvik fighting. She's into silver medal position. And silver medal at the moment for Pia Youngvik, with Roturier still to come. Hanna Lundberg, though, she's probably just out of it. There's a potential for one of the Roturier still to get a medal.
So actually, Pia Youngvik, she lost only 8 seconds on the long leg compared to Simona Abesold. I mean, it's 8 seconds, but Dietrichova, she lost half a minute almost.
Yeah, that's where Dietrichova has made probably her biggest mistake, I think, then on that route choice to 17th control.
Looking at the results, I think it's Roturier that has a potential chance, if she is as quick as Pia Youngvik, to maybe get ahead of Dietrichova and Hanna Lundberg as well, but they have to do it perfectly.
So let's look at these route choices then, and Dietrichova compared and where she loses time.
Same route here.
Ah, that's where she loses time, because she should have stayed closer to the line, I think, there. Yeah. And that's where Vic gets ahead. Wow, only just.
But you can see we have a Roturier here as well, so Roturier is definitely behind.
Yeah.
Now
I think we've got our medalists there now
It's
into the
only
finish.
Hanna Lundberg with a possible chance. She's just at the beginning of this route. But I don't think she made a bit of a Polsini way out from control 16, and Polsini lost quite a lot of time. I have a hard time seeing her beating Lucy Dietrichova.
So Teresa Roturier, she's fighting for 4th at the moment. I think she will keep that position ahead of Anna Dukorn, flying around this corner, arms pumping here on one of the few points in the course where you can really push. And she's going to get 4th place. Outside of the medals, she's not even the best Czech athlete today.
Yeah, but I mean, the 4th place is a great result.
Really good.
It's just the time gap that's so incredibly big.
Yeah, you're right.
We wait for Hanna Lundberg. She's very soon to be at control 17. And no, she punched 17 and she's 26 seconds behind Dietrichova, so I think it's clear now.
Oh, look at that lovely moment then. And I think it still will be Teresa Roturier's best ever sprint world champs result, or European champs result.
Oh, and actually Lundberg is taking a bad route from 17 to 18, the Kasper Fosse way, so maybe it's going to be tight between her and Roturier as well. Look at this.
Yeah, this is not the best way. You want to come south out of this control.
I think it cost him 5 seconds. Maybe it's going to be 5 to 7, but might be a chance for Lundberg to be ahead anyway.
Well, it's going to be a podium finish, a top 6 finish for Hanna Lundberg. Will she get in ahead of Roturier? It's going to be super tight here. She's going to push all of the way, but so too did Roturier. I think it might be enough here for Hanna Lundberg to just sneak into 4th position as the time ticks down. She's going to cross the line. Oh, is it going to be equal?
Oh, did she push all the way?
Oh no, 1
second
second slower than Roturier. She goes into 5th. Roturier gets her best ever World Championships performance. And yeah, so be it then from Hanna Lundberg. and she was our last starter. So we do have our medalist confirmed and our new world champion, her first ever sprint, world or European title with a flawless performance. Simona Aebersold is your new world champion. Pia Youngvik, the European champion, gets silver in another super consistent performance. But Lucy Dietrichova, in her first year as a senior, remember that name because it's going to be said a lot, but I mean, there we go.
Well, I mean, it will be remembered. She has a bronze medal in the sprint race anyway. She's not going to be a surprise in the future.
No, she absolutely will not. I mean, she had so much success at junior level as well. It really shouldn't be a surprise to see her. You know, Simona Aebersold made a great transition from junior to senior. So too has the young Czech athlete. And now we have our final result. 1 minute and 11 seconds. I cannot explain to you how big a margin that is for Simona Aebersold today, ahead of Pia Youngvik on a super tricky course that was won in 2 minutes slower than the expected winning time because it was so difficult. Simona Aebersold is your new world champion. Great to see 2 Czechs in there, 2 Swedes. We had the Norwegian, the Danish, Hedvig Valbingersen was the best of the Danes in the end as well. Britta Mara Morosi, again, a young athlete taking 13th place there too. Oh, goodness me, what an exciting race. And let's have a look then at the GPS.
Yeah, and I mean, we've been talking about Aebersold a lot, and we actually got the paper with the shortest distance for every control. She almost managed to be on the shortest option at every control. Not exactly at the first one, you could have done a little bit better there, but at the same time, there it's more about distance compared to time. I think it's the same time, more or less, but maybe a bit longer distance the way she went. I mean, well executed here as well, and I mean, none of the others really. Rotorier did and Wijk, they did small mistakes to the first control where they bent a little bit more around, but otherwise you can see Aebersold's just running in a known league.
And you can see the others pause. You can see Rotorier pause, but she never does.
Yeah, she's so smooth. She has such a good flow throughout the course. She is so strong physically. Here, different route choices by Dietrichova and the other 2. And I think it was a good option to go to the left. And here, at this point, the gap is really big compared to Pia Youngvik and Teresa Rotorier. It's then on the, I mean, the most exciting thing now to see is the route choice, 16 to 17. Because that's where Dietrichova loses about 25 seconds compared to Pia Youngvik. The gap here, or the tail, 15 seconds. You can see that. So it's the gap quite exactly 15 at this point. I think we can hear the Czech team in the background cheering for their athletes. Here we have the difference in the route executed.
Yeah,
and it is a small mistake here. She's running out of the picture, but coming back. I mean, she's just going further away from the red line. I think we're going to hear with the winner in just a couple of seconds here after this graphics. Going to hear from Simona Aebersold.
And here with the new world champion, Simona Aebersold, congratulations. Your first sprint WOC title, and you win by 70 seconds. How do you explain that?
Well, I can't really explain it right now. I mean, in the terrain, I had no idea. I also started to run towards 9 instead of 7, and then luckily there was a route going through there, so I could run back to 7. Wasn't the optimal route probably, but it was still fast enough. But then, yeah, I really can't explain it. The legs felt great. I probably took enough time for the map reading, and then chose the right routes. There's also some luck included, I guess. But yeah, right now I'm just really happy.
Yeah, and all the athletes talk about a very tricky course today. How did you find it?
Yeah, it's indeed really tricky. It was tricky from the start. You always had to find your way through those fences and walls, and then there were those long routes where you had just 1 or 2 entrances into the parks, and in the parks you needed to navigate through the forest as well a little bit. Good for me. I like the forest, so no, it was a really cool course.
Thank you, and congratulations again, Simona.
Thank you so much.
Well, yeah, that will have been her out-and-out aim for the week, successfully achieved, and I think she just kind of just felt quite humble there, you know. I just did my orienteering, you know.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that she's reading to control 9 and the actual best route is going past control 9.
Yeah, it's quite lucky.
It is. It's everything was going her way today. She was in the flow and nothing could stop her.
There we have the Czech athletes converted to third place. Pia Young-Vik from Norway. What a sprint talent as well. She will feature in the knockouts, I'm sure. Another solid performance, and of course her first world medal. She really kind of upped her game last season when we had the Sprint European Championship, so a brilliant first world medal for Pia Young-Vik. And it was mentioned in the title that, you know, Tove Alexandersson has won so many of these sprint titles. Of course, we've had the likes of Megan Carter-Davis winning previously as well. But finally, she takes this sprint world title and ticks another one off her list. I think it's just the middle to go.
Yeah, and I mean, it's kind of a pity that Tove Alexandersson wasn't here, because it would have been a great fight here. And it would have been interesting to see if she could have had a chance today, because I think you can't really do it much better than Simona did at this particular day in this course.
This is what I was going to say. Like, don't take Tove Alexandersson not being here as, you know, don't let that darken the performance of Simona Abersol, because her performance was outstanding today. It really, really was.
We have been on the course, and we can tell you, we were jogging. It is difficult to go back on everything.
I was walking
so
some bits, and it was still hard to go.
It's so hot, so many details. It's so intense. Even if you're going slow, it's so intense.
Yeah. Well, what a bronze medal here for Czechia from Lucy Dietrichova in her first senior world championships. I mean, she's used to being on top of the podiums on the junior level, but to make that transition to a senior level is incredible, and on such a technical and tricky sprint as well.
Yeah, and I mean, every now and then we get juniors, they don't need any time. You mentioned before Simona Abersol, I think Matthias Kibuc was one of them, Kasper Fosse was one of them. Pia Young-Vik didn't take a long time either. She's going to be one more in this long list of names.
The mix of the names we have to count in on the best results. But this is the one that really means the most this season for Simona Abersol. She has done it. Switzerland on the top of the podium, and I think it's going to take a while to sink in there, I think, for Simona Abersol, because, you know, ever since the last World Championships in Finland in the forest, this is what she will have had the target towards all winter, putting in the hard work, putting in the miles, doing all the preparations, the heat training, the reading the maps, you know, being away from home. I mean, she's like barely a week in one place. It's Simona Abersol. You know, she does live this life of a professional athlete, and she races and trains so hard, and she manages to take it the world champion then today. Everybody's going to chug their flowers out into the crowd. It looked like a good throw from here.
Throwing the flowers.
But there we go, our final results here for the women's race. Simona Abersol joins Kasper Fosse, her partner, as the new sprint world champion. And look at, I mean, throughout the top 10, 2 minutes and 20 seconds. What a spread of results here. Jonas sat next to me is shaking his head.
This could be a middle distance with 2 minutes and 20 seconds gap to position 10. Never seen that in a sprint, I'm quite sure.
No, I'm quite sure of it as well. But what an incredible race then today. Intense, technical. You really had to do some fantastic orienteering orienteering. And we've not seen the courses yet for the rest of the week. So that's a taste of what's to come for the rest of the competition. The athletes have a rest day tomorrow. Then they will do the qualification for the knockouts on Thursday. They will do the quarterfinals, semi-finals and the finals on Friday before the sprint relay on Saturday. And this is just a taste of what's to come. You guys are going to be in for a treat watching at home. We hope you've enjoyed the broadcast. We hope you've enjoyed following along with the athletes and the successes that they've been able to have today. And we'll join you very soon then for the next rounds of the World Cup with the World Champs. Bye-bye.